Alright, we got to keep our eyes on that up to the north. I know it's not doing anything crazy yet, but the level just cranks up and something, it'll start cranking. CGs are increasing. CG's really increasing here. Down there.
Looks like a gust front behind us.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad it's that.
That up to the north is too.
Yeah, that thing up to the north is strange, but it might get organized, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we're going the right direction.
I'm gonna keep blasting in case the north gets good. There's some good winds coming out of that.
Yeah, if it just starts to spin, that's all it's going to take.
Where's Parker?
Parker?
Yeah. Well, we're watching that. That was a strong gust front earlier that I could tell it looked like it was starting to modify. And yeah, I mean, I think it's changing nature at the moment. It's just getting better.
Yeah, lightning's increasing. Okay, straight north. There's something going on up here.
Let's get up there.
Look up to your. That's going to be straight north of us now.
Okay.
So that direction.
Okay, we are hightailing it.
Probably should have saved that.
Well,
96,
we could move because it's halfway point.
96 miles an hour.
I think we're in better shape now. We're in better shape now. A lot better.
Okay.
So here's the question. We go there or there? They're gonna
Okay, I got the warning.
okay, here's the question.
Oh, it's one to our southwest though.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, I see it back there. I don't see a tornado.
Alright, we're gonna stop here.
It's high base. Do you have a pull off right here?
I was thinking they were gonna go in the north one, but
Yeah, it's too. Right here. Perfect.
we're in good shape, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. See, that's trying to lower,
CGs.
but down. Everything's just so high base. It's gonna take it some to come down to the ground level. But that's where the tornado warning is, unless it's
Okay, I'm gonna.
tucked in.
As this car goes by, I'm jumping out. Take a look around a little bit.
Watch the lightning.
Yeah.
So,
Alright, we need to watch this close. Right in there. Tornado warning there. Yep. Okay.
tucked in behind that rain. So pea-size hail reported with that core
let me
just to our west.
Hey, you know. I see. Okay, got it. Okay, he's gonna come to us.
See, it's tucked way back there.
Okay, I think it is, yeah.
I think it's going to be a little bit before we see it.
It's okay. You can see scud developing right there.
It wouldn't be this, would it?
What do you see there? Right there.
Well, all of this is kind of lowered. Yeah. So it's on the other side.
Which would be, yes, go ahead.
See it? It's this.
Okay, we're looking this direction. We need to look that way.
Yeah, see this right here? No. No. I don't think so.
Yeah. Got it. It's a little bit hidden in the rain there. We have north winds here. Okay, that is southwest rain.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Got it. Where's the shirt? Where's the black cloth?
Right here.
What's that? We got it covered. Yeah, I know. Let me point the other direction here. Okay. Absolutely, David. I'll tell you what, this thing has really increased rapidly. It's developed a rotation, and the gust front kind of wraps in right there where you're looking. So we're going to watch this. We'll keep watching it, keep tracking it. Back to you, David. So it's probably right there.
Yeah.
But that just looked contrast there. So we need to go east.
Yeah.
Let's go east and keep watching, okay? Keep watching. Look at our winds. Our winds are west-northwest right now.
Okay. So, yeah, I see a lowering up to our
Okay. That's
north.
probably what we need to be watching right up there. Straight up there. And really, that's northwest.
Yeah. What needed to be covered? I mean, were you talking about that?
Yeah, just the glare. I didn't know if there was glare on it or not. I just left it. Hey, look at, we got west northwest wind.
Okay, can you move your phone?
Okay. What's that?
Move your phone.
All right. We gotta watch that right there. That's gonna. I think that's gonna be somewhere up in that area. It rotates in. It wraps in. I'm just not for sure that that's really. I think that's more of a looking long ways on the gust line, you know.
Right.
Hey, Justin. Okay, so what we did at the last minute, where the real area was supposed to be looking at is not very contrasting, so we just switched shots and something over there. You know, talking about. Yeah, the real area is where it wraps in. Like looking long ways along the road.
What's our wind here?
West north. West strong.
it is. This thing is just racing along. Its forward speed may be close to 40 miles per hour. And as we track the northern edge of that extends anywhere from Prosper off to the east, that track will show as it moves to the north. Jason, can you put a track on that for me? If you can, Collin County, Dallas County, Denton County, severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 8 o'clock tonight, and that warning that's in effect in those locations until 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to watch that for large hail and very, very intense winds. Let's go back to the tornado warned part of the storm, and that part of the storm is in the northwestern sections of Collin County. That is in the northwestern sections of Collin County. Jason, can you hear me, buddy? We might be having a bit.
I'm an always save kind of chaser, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Dollar General, fucking Dollar Tree.
Whoa. It's either delayed or it's extended.
It's been extended, probably.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Is it? Periscope must be a little bit slow. I don't have it yet, do you?
No,
I don't know what it's...
we're not even in it tornado warning.
Dumbass.
Unless
I'm trying to find my phone so I can look at radar and I realize it's already shooting live.
it's
Here
not
you go.
updating. Wonder if it's that storm north of Ashland.
7:25 a minute.
Still tornado warned. Another one south of us went. No, that's ours.
Yeah, oops. Even like that.
We're all right. This is what we're playing, so we just got to keep an eye on it as the circulation closes in on us. We may have to run north again.
Yeah, see, we got stuff over here.
We're going to be getting wet probably before it's over, but
Yeah.
that's right, Ron.
I guess so.
Snap has just been issued. Got my damn video though.
You should be able to exit out and then it should be able to continue.
Alright guys, we just had the tornado warning extended for this area. Because we roll like that.
Yeah, I've got no extension yet.
No.
Well, Ron says it's it is extended.
He said it was in my area. So. Yeah, I don't have my radar scope, so I had to go to that stuff. Get a better backup for now. All right, what chaser's gonna kind of come and rain our parade?
Yeah, okay. It's that one to our west. That storm.
Yep, it was Ashland. Ashland went Warren.
Yeah. Which where and where?
I knew it was.
Oh, that south and western one? Well, that's good. They're both crossing right here. Right?
I think that one in Ashland will go north of here.
Yeah, it'll go north of us.
Where's Ashland? Is this one up here? Oh, yeah, that one will go north of us. So is that the one that they just warned?
Yep.
And we are here, so that's in the darkness over there. So we're going to have to run north again.
It'll be right in there somewhere.
All right, we're going to have to run north again then.
Yep. And I'll just let the stream keep going live, I guess. Back to Savannah, I guess.
Well, let's stay on this.
Yeah.
This here.
Savannah, no.
I gotta figure my phone out. Why I can't make calls.
Okay, guys, we got 2 tornado warnings. One is to this cell here, and then another one's a little south and west of there. They're both coming up the same train in the same area. I can see some base structure back in this.
Yeah. When the lightning hits just right. That Savannah one will be right there, though.
That's the front one or the back one?
That's the north one. The southern one
I think
that
they're
one.
both going to be rain wrapped though.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
I think we can wait on this to creep a little more and dive into the ass of it. Maybe. If we run up it right now, we're going to have to, the whole core of the rain's going to come over before we see the base of it again.
Here's the. There you go.
Right? All right. I don't know.
They're kind of.
See, we were here, right?
Yeah. I mean, we're not far from where it would. If it
Yeah, see,
holds.
it's going to go just north of us, but
Right.
you see that darkness right there? If we let some of that get right into here and then come up in and we can meet with it, we just don't want to get ahead of us. What do you think that is? 3 miles to our north, maybe?
Yeah.
If.
If
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keyword if.
The rain may drive us out of here.
There's definitely an uptick in lightning.
Yeah.
When you have wall-to-wall Wi-Fi throughout your whole home, you can use it everywhere. Yes, even there.
Yeah, change the brightness.
Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi
Bear with
with
me.
Cox Panoramic Wi-Fi.
You mentioned moving almost due east, which should take it from McAllister, central McAllister on the south side, maybe not so much on the north side. JD is on the north side. JD, can you give us an update from your location, what you have?
Yeah, I'm just on the east side of Highway 69 in McAllister. I'm getting turned around to try to look back into that storm. I've seen some lightning, but like I said, it's still a little ways from me. I should be pointing that direction now. I may give just a little bit for the video to lag, but yeah, I can't see a whole lot. Don't see any definition, just some lightning off my distance. Still just a little bit too far out, but we're going to stay here and we'll let it come to us. We'll let you know what we find, Travis. Back to you.
All right, thanks, JD. Appreciate it. And JD's on the east side of McAllister. His GPS was located on the west side, but it is on the east side. Let's go back in and take a look again at what's happening right around the Ward Spring area. This is some shear rates which indicate the strength of the winds that are going against each other, basically, and so there's a lot of shear in that area. And we're also in a bad radar place, to be
All right,
quite
guys, hold on
honest.
real quick.
This is where we get information out of both forts, well, really 3 locations, Tulsa, also Fort Smith, and then extending also to around the Twin Lakes area, which is a radar site east side of Oklahoma City. But the target zone is real close to where Vaughn is at this particular moment. You can see Jeremy, which is near Haywood at this particular second. And so this is the circulation feature coming right across the depot. And as that continues to move, you can still see the circulation feature. And we're looking at about 6,500 feet up in the sky. So this isn't right at the surface, but it is rotating. Vaughn, if you can you give us another update from your location?
Yeah, I've got a little bit of a lowering right here. I've got northeast winds where I actually northwest winds, sorry about that. So I think this area that we're looking at right here is the rotation. There's going to be a lot of rain along with this, so it's going to be hard to see, especially with it getting dark here, Travis. But so far, I'm not seeing anything of concern, like tornado or anything on the ground. That's a good thing, but we're going to keep watching it, Travis. Back to you.
Can you ask him? Okay, thanks, Vaughn. I appreciate it very much. So again, we're looking at what's going on with that storm, and then there's one south. This is a tornado-warned storm, and we'll talk station just a little bit. It's tightened up a little bit on the circulation feature right in here. Again, that's just right across the Army Ammunition Depot. So there will be some strong wind potential in here, and this will continue to track to the east-northeast, as station mentioned, toward Haley, and then also Chambers area. So if you're in Savannah and extending on over the Chambers area, you're going to be right in line with this. And we do have severe thunderstorm warnings on the south side of this, which there's also another tornado warning a little bit further to the south. And that's where Tim is watching what's going on. He's in Kiowa, and we haven't reissued the tornado warning on the south side from Wardville to Kiowa. Tim is in that location right now. Tim, can you give us an update? It looks like a lot of water coming at you right now. What do you have?
Yeah, Travis, we have 50 to maybe 60-mile-an-hour winds. They're coming in different directions, so the circulation feature should be right above us. We're right behind Val, actually. If he's got a shot up, you might have a better shot than I would. But we're northeast coming into Kiowa right now.
All right, thanks, appreciate it. So again, if you're in the Kiowa area, we want you to just be careful and realize as well that you have a very intense thunderstorm located with you, and that's what we have. Val is located right with Tim at this point. So the circulation feature here, a tighter circulation feature in the north. So these two, it's going to be very interesting over the next about, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes how this all emerges, but it's kind of merging into this one, which could also enhance the circulation feature. And if you're around McAllister right now, I want you to go ahead, take precautions, go ahead and move toward the middle of your home just to be on the safe side, or at least make those plans because it's just to the west. And Stacia, how fast is it moving? 30?
About 30, 25 to 30.
Right, okay, 25 to 30 at this moment. And I'll have you do another storm track here in just about a minute. So this is the circulation feature we're looking at across the areas just to the west and southwest of McAllister. Chambers, you can see, and extending to Savannah. And JD's watching it, coming in as well. We have Jeremy on the north side and Vaughn, which is looking at it. So it's tightened up a little bit. Now we think it'll tighten up a little bit more probably based on that south storm and cell that's moving and merging into this. So this is kind of a combination of things going on right now. So it's tightening up in these areas. And so you can see right where Val is located. And do we have Val shot too as well on this? Is that coming in? It's frozen too? Okay. And then Tim's still got his shot up. We'll go back to Tim for just a minute. Okay. It's back here. But anyway, it's really, really intense rainfall, thunderstorm activity. Tim, one quick update from you.
Yeah, Travis, we're east on 60. Yes.
Okay. You're just kind of in a bad...
We're having a hard time seeing anything right now.
Yeah, you take care. You just keep driving. Be careful. We'll let you go to be on the safe side because they've got to get out of that a little bit. But to the north, again, we're getting closer to Chambers. Let's go over to Stacia, who has a storm track update for us. Stacia.
Watching two areas of circulation right now in western Pittsburgh County. I just went ahead and tracked kind of the leading edge of this storm. So we have the circulation that Vaughn is watching just south of Haywood, and then we have the circulation that Tim is watching over Kiowa. And by the way, we do have sirens going off, Trav, in Haywood and Kiowa now. But tracking this again through Savannah at about 7:44, 7:45, that hasn't changed. We do want you to take your tornado precautions if you live in Savannah, Chambers, Alderson, if you live in southern McAllister, over to Krebs, if you lived around the Choctaw Casino. By Chambers, it'd be about 7:49, Choctaw Casino at around 7:54, Alderson at about 8:04. And again, those two areas of circulation that we're watching. We do have sirens going off in Kiowa and in Haywood.
All right. Thank you very much, Stacia. So that is a tornado-warned storm if you're just joining us now. This is all down to the south of Tulsa, and we'll take a wide view just to give you a perspective of where we are. Rain and thunderstorms. Darren's keeping an eye on what's going on north because this is not over with as far as to the north. We're going to get some hail out of some of these storms. Brandon's watching the southeast metro side because we're expecting some of these areas that are just starting out just southeast of Oklahoma City. This is supposed to explode into thunderstorms with some hail. So there's a chance that we could have some hail here in Tulsa maybe around 9-10 o'clock tonight. So Darren and Bob are just kind of on the back side or on the front side of this, just going to make sure that we can intercept everything here. But right now the tornado warning is mainly to the south. We've had tornado warnings down in Texas as well, and so it's been a very active pattern in several locations. So back into what's going on, Darren has at this point, and also into the portions right where Darren is located, just starting to get some hail showing up. You see some of the thunderstorms from Council Hill, northwest of Council Hill, and then east of Shakota. Is Darren online right now? Yes. Okay. Hey, Darren, if you're with me, can you give me just an update from your location? I know it's not as severe as down south, but what do you have for us?
Yeah, right here in Shakota, at the crossroads of America, the rain has just really started, Travis, but lots of intense lightning. Really not a whole lot of wind per se, but I'm going to be driving back and forth around here, see if I can find one of those hail cores and get you a report in just a few minutes. Back to you.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. And so again, that's going to be the case as we go on the north side near I-40. Back to radar, heavy rain, thunderstorm activity, and the tornado warning continue in effect. This is just to the west of McAllister right now. Let's take a closer inspection where Vaughn is located and the circulation. He's as close to the circulation you can get. So again, he's just south, right at the Haywood area. You need to be taking your precautions right now for a possible tornado right in this area, because even if it isn't, there could be a damaging wind potential of 60 to 80 miles per hour. And let's go to Vaughn, if he can talk to us for a minute. Vaughn, I can't tell if your video is frozen, but we'll go ahead and take that picture of Vaughn video just for a second, and then also give me an update of what it looks like right now for you.
Yeah, just coming into Haywood here pretty shortly. It's awful green in that direction to my southeast. So right when we went off the air, I saw a lot of rotation just a while ago, about 5 minutes ago, and as it was moving towards Haywood. So this does have some low-level rotation with it. We're going to follow it. I'm going to be coming out on the west side of McAllister here just shortly. Back to you. All
right, appreciate it. So again, where Vaughn's located. So that's the circulation feature. Jeremy's right along the leading edge of that as well. And then this is again, the whole thing is just rotating right in here. So there should be some inflow right in here, some gusty winds on the south side of the ammunition depot. And then that is going to be hitting just real close to around McAllister. JD's watching it. JD, if you could, will you give us an update as well from your location right now as that storm starting to get closer to you?
Yeah, the lightning's actually picking up to my east as there's a little bit out in front of this main line. The winds are light. The rain is light. So far, everything's good, but we're getting in position to get in line with this thing. So it should come maybe just a little east of Alderson there. And we're going to get eyes on it just as soon as it makes its way across Highway 69 there, Travis. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Appreciate it. So once again, tornado warning in effect for western portions of Pittsburg County. That does not include McAllister right now, but we do want you to take your precautions just to be on the safe side, because that is literally just on the west side. Station's going to have another update in just a minute. Back to radar, and you can see that the circulation feature, there's not a super tight couplet, and it's just kind of in emerging form right now. So we could have wind damage potential, and you can see on the east side here, just south of Savannah, that continues to be where Tim is located, and down to Blanco, that's his location, which we're watching real close as well, because this is an elongated area that's kind of rotating around. So any place in here could have some wind damage. And let's go ahead and see if Tim has a chance to talk to us right now. Tim, a quick update from you.
There he is. I can see it. Yeah, Travis, we're just northeast of Pittsburgh heading towards Blanco. Visibility's dropped substantially. A lot of lightning in this area and strong west-northwest winds right now. Small hail at this point, but larger hail back towards Pittsburgh. Back to you.
All right, thanks, appreciate it. And so that's again storm system rolling across that area with heavy rains, strong wind potentials there. Radar is still active with a thunderstorm, and it's kind of tight in that area. And Stacia has been watching this as well, and you can see what's going on here. There's still no super indication of a real tight couplet, but this is at least it. And they probably will extend the tornado warning, I would imagine. If we'll see what the next couple of scans have. But Stacia, what do you have for us?
Travis, I'm going to track the damaging wind potential. So take a look here. This is the latest track that we have for you across Pittsburg County. So this is in Savannah now. Pretty much those winds picking up as that thunderstorm is moving in. Alderson at 8:01, Krebs at about 8:04, continuing on to Haleyville at 8:05, Hartshorn at around 8:07. So this track here is for the damaging wind potential. And Travis, I also want to mention now that Pittsburg County is under a flash flood warning. These thunderstorms, as they came up through Fitztown and Centrahoma, those produced about 1.5 inches of rain as they came through. So flash flood warning now in effect for Pittsburg County with additional rain coming in. This is a efficient rainmaker, so flooding concerns are going up along with the damaging wind and circulation.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. Yeah.
I've had reports from ham operators saying it may be on the ground right now.
Okay, so we could have did they give us a location? Because that's in Savannah. Okay, so again, if you're looking, we'll go into velocities if we could for a second. And we're thinking right in the Savannah area right now, so it's just north of where Tim is located, that there's some ham radio operators thinking that this could be a tornado. This is it's tightened up right in here, just crossing 69. So this is part of it, and it's like the tornado warning ends right here. So if that's the case, tornado warning will definitely be extended. And so just consider yourself from McAllister, South McAllister, and then extending on over. Obviously in Savannah, you need to be in your safe place now. That will continue on. I'll get out of the way so you look at these roads. And that will be Four Corners Road, where it intercepts same place with Hardy Springs Road, and then you can see Hollywood Road. So then, of course, the Indian Nations Turnpike that'll be cutting across there as we speak. So that's just near the Chambers area, Savannah area, and just to the south, moving east, as Stacia mentioned, and that will continue possibly as we go to High Hill Road and on over to the Craig Bond locations and along Highway 63. So that's the main area that we're concerned with. And so JD is also getting probably a better look at what's going on right now with that storm that's down to his southwest. JD, if you can you give us an update from your area? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm just to the east of Alderson on Highway 270. The rain's starting to pick up. The lightning is really starting to pick up. I'm facing southwest, looking back towards that rotation. It's just so messy from this point of view that I can't see any structure whatsoever. It's just dark that direction and a lot of lightning. The train's not real conducive for long ways viewing. So we're going to have to just let it get a little closer before we can give you any details. So we're going to stay right here and wait for it. We'll let you know what we find, Travis. Back to you.
All right, thanks. And let's go back to radar for a minute, and then we'll talk to Vaughn. So this is the circulation just east-southeast of Savannah. And so that continues to move in a direction where JD is going to be very close to it. Again, this is no man's land for radar, unfortunately, because it's at the maximum distance that you can have radar and have a reasonable return of information. But that's sitting right now around the Savannah area, east side of Savannah, and extending back on to the north of Blanco. So Tim's real close to that. Vaughn's near Haywood, it looks like. Vaughn, I don't know if I have your right GPS location, but can you give me an update on what you're seeing from your location?
Yeah, I'm just to the northeast of Haywood now, coming just southwest of McAllister. I'm not seeing a whole lot. Got a lot of rain between me and the circulation right now, so we're going to try to get a better view up here as we get into McAllister.
All right.
Back to you.
Thanks. Appreciate it. So again, tornado warning in effect in Pittsburg County at this particular moment. So this would be just right around. We'll see if they continue to advance the tornado warning, because actually the strongest part of this storm is now moving out of the tornado warned area. But this is just to the south of McAllister. And so if you are in this area, move to the east of Savannah now. Strong winds of 60 miles an hour at least should be with that leading edge with the tornado warned storm. And even if it isn't tornado, it's a strong severe thunderstorm that is moving through, which would be severe as well. So this is where we have the location, and let's take a look and see if we have any hail indications as well and see what's going on there. As far as really as we take a look, this is the target zone right now. You can see what's going on. Strong damaging wind potential continues to show up. Now this is going to the east. be moving toward the Haleyville area and just south of McAllister. So the target zone shifted a little bit north again, so we're getting really into the McAllister area and the South McAllister area. You need to be in cover at this.
What the fuck?
Well, if you lose power, so this is circulation feature right over McAllister. Very dangerous situation right now in McAllister. That will continue to track to the east. And so the tornado warning is still in effect for much of the eastern part of the county. Rain, heavy rain, flooding rainfall right now. So flood warning in effect for this area. So you don't want to be traveling at this moment. And you also are watching this again. Radar is air moving away, air moving toward. So this is the circulation feature from out of our radar in Tulsa or near Tulsa. Let's go over to Fort Smith if we could and just see what that looks like now it's getting into rain. So this is a similar situation. Still the circulation feature going on here. And you can see where Jeremy and Vaughn are located. Vaughn's going through downtown, it looks like, or near it. Vaughn, can you give me an update? Vaughn?
Yeah, Travis. I just come through downtown, and man, these winds are blowing at least 60 miles an hour through here. A lot of rain. It's hard to drive faster than about 20 miles an hour because of all the rain on the road. But we're going to try to catch up on the backside of this thing as it moves through McAllister. Back to you.
All right, and it is moving through town right now. And again, in McAllister, you can see, well, you know what's going on if you look out your window. I'd rather have you being in a safer place. Remember, flooding, you can see all the water that's going on right now across that area and how the trees are whipped. You can just see some of those trees as Vaughn's going through town there. And so that's a Phillips 66. Is that on, what street is he on right now? Is that on the main street? Trying to think. On 31, okay. Okay, is Carl Albert? All right. And so that's continuing. He's moving eastbound. So that gives you an idea what it's like in town right this moment. Severe thunderstorm continues. We're talking about, again, heavy, heavy rainfall, flooding, and a tornado warning. Back to radar, please. And we'll do a storm track here in just a moment. But circulation continues now more on the east side of town. And it's continuing to show up. You can see Alderson is in the path of this. The tornado warning goes all the way up to Blocker in northeastern Pittsburgh County, and then extending back down on the southeast side as well. And with that continues to be some strong winds and wind shear. Kind of the interesting thing at this point is that there is not a specific target zone other than just the city, unfortunately, for you guys in McAllister. But it'd be any place else, it would just be as bad. But we're talking about, again, winds, flooding in this zone, and then that's moving to the east. So a lot of lightning going on here, and JD continues to see some of that. We're going to talk to Darren in a minute, but we want to get this storm to the east of town a little bit. Let's talk JD first of all. Let's talk to him for a second. JD, what do you have for us on the east side of town?
Yeah, just continuous lightning, just a barrage of lightning, very heavy rain. The winds are almost constant at 45 to 50 miles an hour. Haven't seen any for sure power flashes. We're looking back in the direction where that circulation feature would be. No hail to speak of, no damage. You know, the wind's not quite strong enough to do any damage so far. So pretty good news, but the rain's coming down in buckets on 270 near Back. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks. Hey, JD, one more quick question if you're still listening to me. What direction are the winds out of right now?
They're out of the west-southwest.
All right.
I'm sorry, no, just out of the west. I'm sorry, just west.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, so that's a look at what's going on the east side of town. Back to radar if we could, and then we'll go on over to Stacia for a second. But heavy rain, thunderstorm activity continues throughout this whole zone. Circulation features are getting more toward the east side of town. And so this is part of it as well. Strong wind potential in here, very turbulent atmosphere. It's not a super tight couplet as we call it. Therefore, the chances of a tornado, they're there, but it's not quite as intense as it normally would look if we had a tornado, but I still don't want to chance it as that's continuing to move to the east. And Stacia's been watching what's going on with this. She has the latest as far as the storm track on the storm that's near McAllister and to the east. Stacia?
Travis, I am tracking the leading edge of those strong winds, and even without a tornado on the ground, these are still 60, 70 mile per hour winds coming in, and we want you to be safe. So find that interior room, stay away from windows and doors. These are really strong winds that could do some damage and knock your power out. Here's the latest track on this storm. Again, tracking those strong winds coming in. Bug Tussle 807, we did have reports that sirens were going off in Bug Tussle. So if you're just now joining us, again, 60, 70 mile per hour winds possible. Blocker at 813, Patterson would be about 816, and Quinton at 825. These strong winds, I'm tracking this at 50 miles per hour up to the northeast. Trav?
Northeast now. Huh? That is moving, and you can see what's happening in there. Again, serious areas of strong damaging wind potential, power outages, and Kendall right now is running our social media as well, so you can get pictures, you can send pictures to us as well if you have something you want to share with us. We're also sending out a bunch of information as well. Sawyer's running our storm tracking team as this continues to move to the east-northeast. So as Stacia said, around the Blocker area, keeping an eye on that because this is like bulging out strong winds in this area. And so we're looking at, again, with wind potential, we can look at hail, get a little bit of hail information out of that. The core, so far the guys haven't reported any hail, that, but there is a pretty good indicator that there should be some in there.
He's had some nickel.
Who did? JD had some nickel size hail? He's getting some. Okay. JD, is he at Dow right now? Looks like Tim and JD are pretty close to one another. JD, you getting the hail right now, you said?
Yeah, I'm in batch on 270. We're getting dimes and nickels. It's very sporadic, though. It's not real consistent. So far, it's all been sub-severe. It's been below that quarter-size hail. So, again, it's not doing any damage. So far, everything's going pretty well, pretty smooth down here. Still looking off towards that direction where the circulation is, and still not seeing any power flashes to speak of. But the lightning in that direction is very intense. And that often indicates that's the strongest part of the storm, and that verifies. We're going to keep traveling east on 270 with this thing, and we'll let you know what we find if we see any bigger hail. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Thank you, JD. Thank you to all of our guys that are out there right now. Again, severe thunderstorm, a tornado-warned storm continues to track to the east. Back to radar for a minute. The couplets now on the east side of our tornado warning, so around the Edmondson area, getting ready to move over in counties. So we're getting ready to move over into Latimer County. So if you are in this zone, we haven't really talked a whole lot. Stacia's mentioned on a storm track, tighter couplet just around. And with JD, that makes sense with a west wind right now, because that would be the circulation. You'd be on the south side of that circulation feature, because this would be the couplet that has a higher probability of maybe a tornado right now. It would be near Adamson, and then that also could be tracking. So this is going across the county line, as you see it. I'll get out of the way so you look at these city street lines so you can get a little bit better idea. And so we're talking 1110 Avenue, and then also where it is associated with Adamson Road. And so if you're in this area from the Drum Road area and the Chile area, we do want you to please move to a place of safety right now up through 1400 Road. And if you're in McAllister, the center of the circulation's east of you, but you still have strong winds, so please still be careful. There's flooding going on in McAllister right now, but this is a tighter couplet that we're concerned about that has continued to show up now and is still in a radar range, which is still well above where it could possibly be on the ground. New tornado warning now till 8:30. We're at 8:06, so this has been extended for this circulation feature here. National Weather Service just put us in that. Did you have sirens in Haleyville right now? So this is going to be coming close to Wilburton, and you can see the Robbers Cave State Park area. So the tornado warning continues in this area. The couplet's tighter right here. It's already moved now as far as out of the zone of Pittsburgh County. Still some heavy rain, thunderstorm activity. And Stacia, I'll let you do a new storm track on that. But to give you an idea, now that's just past county line and now moving to around the Drum Road area. And so that is continuing to move to the east. And there is a tight couplet here. If this isn't a tornado, it's going to be awful close. And there's going to be 70-mile-an-hour winds, possibly 80-mile-an-hour winds here. So you'll lose power pretty fast. So don't forget, you can stream on your device, and normally that'll work. Of course, you have to have cellular service, as you saw with our guys. Every once in a while, you get in a hill or valley, and then we lose some of the guys down in the mountains terrain that we start to get into in this area. JD is just off to the south and west a little bit. Vaughn is back as well, and Stacia has an update on the storm track. What do you have for us, Stacia?
Travis, tracking the area of circulation to the northeast at about 40-45 miles per hour. This is going to take it into parts now of Latimer County from Chile to Wilburton up to Robbers Cave State Park. So Chile, this is just several miles off to the west of town. Now that should be in your area about 8:10, so just a couple more minutes. Robbers Cave State Park, 8:18. Wilburton would be about 8:20, and then Kinta at about 8:31. 1. So again, this is going to take it into northern Latimer County. That area of circulation that we're watching, as Trav mentioned, is just now crossed over the Pittsburgh-Latimer County line, headed towards Patterson, potentially Robbers Cave State Park, and even near Wilburton, especially on the north side of Wilburton is what we're expecting now. So if your sirens are going off in Chile, Wilburton area, this is what's going on. You do have that area of circulation just northeast or northwest of Chile, headed towards Patterson, Robbers Cave State Park, and north of Wilburton. So that's the way things look for now, Trav. And I've looked at rainfall rates across Pittsburgh County, and I just want to mention that these storms have produced almost 1.5 inches of rain in a short amount of time. And we had a lot of waterfall last week, so we do have a flash flood warning in effect for Pittsburgh County. We highly stress that if you don't have to get out on the roadways, please don't. But this is all the water that's come through and just pixel querying a few locations. McAllister almost 1 inch, Chambers 1.5 inches, Savannah 1.5 inches, and there hasn't been a lot of hail to bring these totals up too much, so I think it could be pretty consistent, especially looking at some Mesonet data before those thunderstorms got into Pittsburgh County. Trav?
All right, thanks, Stacia. Appreciate it. Again, tighter, it's a tightened area of rotation still right in here. You can see the focus just west of Patterson area, north of the Drum area. So there's a high probability of wind damage, if not a tornado, right in this zone. And that is moving, as Stacia said, kind of an east-northeast direction, and that'll continue to track toward the Robbers Cave State Park area. So if you're in this area, we want you to be aware that this is a severe thunderstorm with a tornado potential that's relatively high right now. So right in here. So this is it, and that's just north of the Chile Road area. And then that extends. Here's a 1380 road. So if you're any place in between, even just a little bit further south, you can see Bowers Road. That pretty much covers the circulation feature right now. So you need to be in a place of safety at this very moment to make sure you are going to be safe. All right, I also want to widen up a little bit because we have go back to reflectivity if we could for a moment, because we have the heavy rains, we have the flooding rains. You can see Vaughn, JD, Val, Tim, Jeremy. We've got all the guys around here. We have other guys. Bob is also up to the north intercepting the storm. And then back further to the north as well, Darren's in the middle of some heavy rain and thunderstorm activity around Muskogee. Although not severe. Darren, a quick update from you on what's going on here around the Muskogee area.
Yeah, Travis, on the south edge of Muskogee, north side of Summit on Highway 69. Just a lot of heavy rain. I've been tracking this storm ever since it went through Council Hill and Wainwright, and just a lot of heavy rain, some cloud ground lightning right now. A little bit of flooding potential exists, but I'll be on this all evening. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thank you, Darren. Greatly appreciate it. Again, some of the guys are having to watch. Also, back to radar for a moment and widen out a little bit. Back to the west, we have a new severe thunderstorm warning getting ready to move into western Okfuskee County. This additional thunderstorm, and this should be producing a potential for some hail as well. They'll be heading toward the Boley and Payton area. And so there could be some big chunks of hail coming out of this as this moves into western Okfuskee County. Now, we don't have a warning yet for you guys, but it's all just to your west around the Prague area, and that will continue to move to the northeast. And you can see that little black dot. That's not a good thing because that means it's a very large hail at this particular moment, up to maybe egg-size hail with that storm. And that could take it on into near Okemah or just north of Okemah toward the Welty area. Additional rain and thunderstorms are popping up to the west, and so that'll move up over Tulsa. But back to our tornado-warned storm again. Lots of activity down here. Mostly now we're going to take the tornado warning away from Pittsburgh County. It's more of a circulation feature that is more dangerous and more potential for a tornado now just to the west of Robbers Cave. And you can see from near the Chile area, that continues to be the main rotating area. Higher probability of some significant storm damage, either via wind or an actual tornado, which is quite possible. The couplet, again, we're off the surface, so we can't really see near the surface as well. So we're more than a mile high in this area, and so we're looking off of the surface quite a ways. But this is still indicating a fairly good chance that if it isn't a tornado, it's strong, damaging winds right in this zone that you could probably lose power with. So heavy rains and thunderstorm activity with this, and then back out to McAllister, and I'm going to check in with some of the guys right now. Vaughn, I see you've got a lot of heavy rain going on, and right now I have you northeast of Krebs. Is that where you're at, headed to a blocker?
That is correct. A lot of heavy rain. It's very difficult to drive in this. I've had a little bit of sporadic hail, but nothing, no damaging hail, just, dime to nickel size. But that's about it. Strong winds, though, coming out of the southwest here, kind of the west-southwest. So, we're going to keep following up here to Blocker. Back to you.
All right, thanks. We'll let you go so you can drive. That just looks scary. All right, we'll go back to radar for a minute. The heaviest rains, and you can see where Vaughn is located. Moving northeast out of Krebs, heading on up to the Blocker area. Jeremy's out to the west. Heaviest of the rains are moving out of McAllister, but there still could be a few thunderstorms that still could move on up into your area. So don't be surprised. So now a new severe thunderstorm warning has been added. This is now in our area, and so this will take it into western portions right now. And really, I would say that storm, hail is probably going to be the biggest thing, some heavy rainfall associated with that. So if you are any place around Welty, Axel, and then extending through Boley, and then even Payton, you're most likely going to have a chance of some hail with that storm, some heavy rain, some lightning with it. So that'll continue to move through western Okfuskee County. And it does clip a little bit of southern portions of Creek County. But so as we're going to be watching that a little bit as that continues to move to the northeast. So that if that holds together, we could get it up into Okmulgee County. There is a chance that could happen. Stacia has a storm track there you see put together for us, and that goes all the way to around the Gypsy area at 837 and around Welty at 835 if that storm track maintains itself. And the hail core, a little bit more. The hail core is a little bit further south, so if you're just on the south side of that, you could also have a potential for seeing some little bit of wind, but mainly it's hail at this point. And that's near Little right now, headed toward the Boley area. All right, so that's that. Now back down the tornado warning area for you guys that are in northern Latimer County. That continues to be the most active area. We've adjusted the tornado warned area, and you can see that we've taken out Pittsburg County and extreme western portions now of Latimer County. So the target zone is just west of Robbers Cave State Park. This is the area we want you to be ready for, or to be safe, to move to a place of safety. Stacia's going to do another storm track for us in a second. Chile, you can see the areas right here, and from High Bridge Road, and then especially if you're any place close to around the 1380 road, you need to be undercover right now. The potential for a strong wind event, be it a tornado or strong damaging winds of over 70 miles per hour, is very high for your area right now. And that'll be continuing to move right toward the Robbers Cave State Park, and it's doing it at this moment. You can see strong damaging winds at this time. When you get in the red, that's pretty much indicating some of the strongest winds, Patterson area. And you see where it's headed. Stacia has more on that with the latest. What do you have for us, Stacia, at this time?
Travis, moving this area of strong wind and circulation up to the east-northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So Robbers Cave State Park, if anybody is there, they need to be taking shelter from this storm now. It's going to be there here in just a couple of minutes. Now Kinta, that's going to be about 8:32, Red Oak around 8:40, and Denman at about 8:44. So this should continue to track across northern Latimer County, maybe just passing to the north of Red Oak and hopefully to the south of Kinta, but we'll have to watch it closely because again, it's more northeast in the latest scans at about 40 miles per hour. So I like you to be ahead of this. So I moved the track up to 45. But again, this is going to continue across northern Latimer County. Right now, it's just several miles to the west of State Highway 2, just west of Robbers Cave State Park. And even if there's not a tornado on the ground, this is going to be some very strong winds coming in that will cause damage, knock power out. So this is a storm that you want to maybe find that interior room, stay away from windows and doors, let this storm pass because it is a very powerful storm. Trav, the latest shear rate just came back in, and you can take a look at that there as it moves over towards Robbers Cave.
Thank you, Stacia. And yes, so this is continuing to be a bulging area of very strong winds coming across the areas right around Robbers Cave State Park. So this will be 70, maybe 80 mile an hour winds. And then right along this area, sometimes right at the top in here, circulation feature might be, and it's right in association with it. So it's right where you'd expect a potential. If there is a tornado, it would most likely be right in this zone right now. And so that's continuing to track, just as Stacia mentioned, should be near Robbers Cave State Park momentarily. And as we said, mentioned 1380 Road down to Patterson, you're getting strong winds.
We do have a report of a lowering at Robbers.
So a lowering in there. Okay, these should be a little bit scary looking clouds right now coming in from around the Robbers Cave State Park area. So if you're in that area, just move to a place of safety, get away from the potential for some wind damage there. As I said, 70, maybe 80 mile an hour winds are not out of the realm of possibility. It doesn't look like much right now, but this is like an area that's being pulled up and wrapping around into that. And so that's why we're concerned with this particular area. Heavy rain, thunderstorm activity continues across this whole zone with localized heavy rain, flooding, potential is in these areas. Hail core most likely is a little bit to the west. Again, these are just slightly dated products because they have to go through a little bit of algorithms to make sure that we get all the data, but you can see the hail swath is more on the north and west sides, and then Vaughn's not too far away from that right now. You see where JD is located and some of our guys. Tim's back on the south side of that. Are we close on GPS right now, or are they just off a little bit? Sorry. Okay, where's JD right now?
JD is coming into Wilburton.
Oh, yes? You're Wilburton? All right. Hey, JD, if you can, would you give me an update on what you have for us in Wilburton?
Yeah, very heavy rain. The rain has come down so hard, it's really hard to judge where the road ends and where it begins. It really has slowed down, but there's a lot of light.
He's just, his audio is just too rough right there. So we're just going to let him go so he drives careful. So just take it easy, JD. Be careful. But again, if you're around the Wilburton area, you are going to be getting the same stuff. So this is excessively heavy rainfall. So JD is not here. Every once in a while, GPS has to pick it back up. And so he's right in here. Circulation feature now over Robbers Cave State Park. So it's going right where Stacy said. And so that's continuing. And so there's still a very strong indication of a strong circulation, strong damaging winds coming in from the west, southwest area. And then you should have some inflow coming in from the east or southeast coming right around that's getting pulled back up into it. And right around that is a State Highway 2, Robbers Cave State Park. Please be in a place of safety. If you're in a recreational vehicle, you really need a safer place right now. Hopefully you've already done that because it's right on top of you at this point. And further to the northeast, it doesn't look that bad. There's lightning and all that going on, but it did individual cell right near Kinta. And then that heavy rain is going to continue in this zone, and this will continue to track off to the east and getting into LaFleur County and getting a little bit further into central Latimer County and then eventually into LaFleur County. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning across this whole area, and so this continues to show up as such. And you can see how this has continued from all the way from the south and west. And that tight little area there, we call it kind of a couplet. And then that's what you're seeing right in there, moving northeast, east-northeast. And so it's still there and still indicative of very strong winds, potentially damaging winds, power outages, and all. The severe thunderstorm warning that has been expanded now is in Haskell County. So that goes all the way up to where Bob is located. And then also, Bob's in Kinta? Yes. Okay. Well, let's talk to Bob since Bob's so close to it right now. Bob, can you give us an update from Kinta?
Yeah, I'm just passing through Kinta trying to stay on the leading edge of this. Starting to get some very heavy rain. Had a lot of lightning back to the south towards Robbers Cave. And a lot of inflow winds, I think, going into this storm. Back to you, Travis.
Okay. Wow, there's a lot of rainfall coming in with that. Stacy just mentioned 2 inches of rain fell in McAllister during that heavy thunderstorm, severe thunderstorm event. So again, if you are in McAllister, please be aware of the flooding potential for you, but also there's still the circulation feature where Robbers Cave State Park is located. Bob is in Kinta, not there, so he's around the Kinta area, and then you see the heavy thunderstorm. And we still have additional moderate to heavy rains in southeast Pittsburgh County, and still a severe thunderstorm at Ashland. So there's still one more storm to have to go through with this one. And then back to the northwest, we'll take a look we'll go north first to Darren. No warning on these storms at this moment. He's in Muskogee. Darren, update from out of Muskogee.
Yeah, Travis, you're on the southeast side out by Country Club Road and 165 loop out here. Getting some dime to penny-sized hail. Very light, but we finally found some hail associated with this storm, and it's tracking off to the northeast. As it moves across the city. Travis, back to you.
All right, thank you, Darren. And Darren's got that. And again, we could experience, and Brandon's in the Tulsa area, and we're going to experience some severe thunderstorm potential in some of these areas because of hail. So you can see where Darren is located and see the heavy thunderstorms, northwestern Sequoia County, southern Cherokee County near the Lake Tenkiller area. So this is heavy rain in embedded areas that could have hail cores associated with those, and those are moving northeast. You saw the lightning associated with that. Out to the west, though, around Okfuskee County, that is a severe thunderstorm, and you can see a hail core coming in on that one right now west of Boley. So that's why we do have our severe thunderstorm warning, additional strong storm near Stroud. These are the storms that are going to come up over Tulsa in a while. One of our computer models has us with a potential severe thunderstorm. Let's see, it's 8:20. I think it was about 9:30 to 10 o'clock near Tulsa with maybe some hail in it, and that would most likely be this storm if it holds together. So this warning is in effect, again, for the northwestern portions right now of Okfuskee County and extreme southern portions of Creek County for about another 30 minutes. And that could be extended very easily into Creek and Okmulgee County. So this is around the Prague areas. It should be a hail core. Okay, coming back on over and taking a look at additional rain and thunderstorm activity. This is future view as we look forward to this storm. And so this is going to be moving it up toward the Tulsa area. So this is about 9:23 as we extend it out. It should be from near Sapulpa, eastern portions of Creek County, if it holds together like this. And then we do expect to maybe have some hail and some gusty winds associated with that. So that'll be coming in the Tulsa area again about 9:30. So if you're just in western area in Creek County, that's going to be in earlier, obviously around 9. So thanks, Stacia, for that. And then back to the south, the tornado warning area continues. The tornado warning area is still just to the north of Robbers Cave State Park, where the circulation is. Tim has been to the south. Is Tim near Wilburton right now?
Yes.
Is that where he's located? Okay. So it's moving right across your area. It doesn't look quite as tight of a rotation. It looks more like a strong wind event right now. So the winds could be in excess of 70 or 80 miles an hour with this. But right now I'd say at least 60 and potentially 70. So it doesn't look quite as bad, but you can have just a small spin up in a small area that could do some serious damage. So that's why we want you to be very much aware and be in a safe place to make sure you're going to be okay. And that's, again, the leading edge of that. So the warm, moist air shooting up here, cooler air, rain-cooled air wrapping around the back side of it. And so that's already through the Robbers Cave State Park at this moment. So Bob is located near LaQuire, west of LaQuire right now. All right, so right in here. And Bob will give us an update. If you would, Bob, what do you have for us?
Hey, Travis, winds really picked up here. I've been getting some 35-mile-an-hour plus winds coming in from probably the north-northwest on this system. And lightning's also continuing to be quite strong back to my south. Back to you.
All right, thanks. Again, Bob's not too far from where that circulation feature is. He's going to follow that. And there's a chance that this could intensify even more so as we go through the next hour, as he's in a very conducive area for additional rotating storms. So that's what we're going to keep an eye on. So Bob is here. Bob is not there. So he's right over here. So he's in a path of this storm, and Tim's on the south side of it right now. Tim's near Wilburton. Tim, what's Wilburton been experiencing?
Well, Travis, we're just coming up in Wilburton now. Just light rain here on the west side, but to my east there's a hail core, and we have seen some minor, just like small branches from trees on the road, indicating maybe some strong winds went through. We're going to continue east and let you know what we find out.
All right, thank you, Tim. Appreciate it. So once again, that storm that JD was also flying through in there, and now Tim's bringing up the backside, and you can see that the hail core is not too far from where Tim has been located. This is still the tornado-warned storm at this point, and that's continuing to move to the northeast. And most likely, if we can do a hail swath and see what we have on that right at this point, we'll get a pretty good idea because it was out to the west and still is there, and then we have just a little bit showing up where Tim is located. So the hail core itself, for some reason, doesn't look quite as intense. Now, who wants a hail core like what was in Oklahoma City this past week? Nobody. And so we're just talking about being glad that that's not part of the equation tonight. You can see this green area. This is a flood warning, basically Pittsburgh County. Stacia's been on that. And Stacia, you have some rainfall totals, I think, too, coming out of this area. So what do you have for us that's going on?
Travis, the Mesonet site in McAllister has picked up over 2 inches of rain just from these thunderstorms coming through. So that's why you have the flash flood warning in place. You had a lot of rain last week. Now you have an additional 2 inches. That is not good. So do expect low-lying areas, the flood-prone spots. Those could have some trouble around Pittsburgh County because you still also have heavy thunderstorms coming through. So not only do we have the wind damage potential from some of these heavy thunderstorms now, the tornado warning is off to your east for folks who live in Pittsburgh County, but now you have the flooding concerns as we go into tonight. Trav?
All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. So please, as we say, turn around, don't drown. The newest track Stacia has for us as this continues to move to the northeast. Tornado warning still in effect. Circulation isn't as tight, but still strong winds. Huh? They are, yeah, I was going to say, this does not look quite the same as it did. And Sawyer just mentioned National Weather Service is going to drop that, so that's pretty much the same thinking over here. And that's going to continue to be still a strong wind event potentially, and the severe thunderstorm will continue as well. We do have strong winds now moving into southwestern portion of Haskell County, not too far from around the Kinta area, but we could see still some additional development as it continues to develop and rotate and move around. Storm track at this point, Kinta at 837, LaQuire at 843. McCurtain at 855. That's for strong wind potential. Also, the storm that Darren is on is fairly turbulent in these areas as well. And you might have noticed that we had a north wind, but it was still 70s to near 80 this afternoon with a north wind, which means there's still a lot of energy sitting there. And that's why we're getting thunderstorms even with a north wind. Usually we have to have a south wind. Cold front comes in with a north wind, we have storms. But we've had a north wind blowing through this area. But right now, Darren is right on the east side, it looks like, or southeast side of Muskogee. Darren, can you give me an update on what you have? Darren, go. Okay, I don't know where Darren is. He's there. He's driving anyway, I hope. It looks like he is. Still quite a bit of lightning out of those storms around the Muskogee area. And he was reporting, again, that there was an area that he's keeping an eye on just in case that develops a little bit more. Quite a bit of lightning, and this is, again, north of the boundary. So that's still a very active thunderstorm. Let's go back to radar for a moment, and you can see that there's still is very turbulent kind of in this area. We should have some gusty winds, and that's what we're seeing right now with some of these shear indications. So there should be some 30, 40-mile-an-hour winds in some of these areas that go all the way from Muskogee County, now extending across southern Cherokee County, so around the Lake Tenkiller area and to the north. So this is a pretty active thunderstorm, even though it's not severe per se. It's still one that we'll have to keep an eye on, and still very active. Back around to the west of us, the severe thunderstorm warning continues in effect. And again, for western Okfuskee County, notice how we're just positioned to where these storms are going to be tracking a little bit more to the northeast. And so this line of thunderstorms continues to track in that direction.
We do have a report of some trees down in McAllister and all the way from Savannah to Hartshorn.
Trees down in McAllister, and then all the way to Hartshorn. Okay, so we'll take a look at that and a little bit more information. Hail core still possibly around McCobber, and then extending new cell kind of going up near Tuskegee. So this is still pretty active. So the Tuskegee could just start dumping some hail out in just a moment. And so that's moving into areas which will possibly get into western Okmulgee County and eventually southern Tulsa County. So be advised. Back to the severe thunderstorm area down to the south and east. Flood warning, as we said, down around McAllister. The tornado warning now is being allowed to expire in this area, but we still have a very intense thunderstorm. Vaughn is still in the middle of it at this point. I don't see his video coming in though right now. Is it? No, it's down. Okay. And then we have Tim on the south side. Bob is still hanging out. I think, is Bob still in Kinta? Or is he? He
is near
LaQuire yet? Okay. And so he's over here. Hey, Bob, we're going to just have you just give me an update, if you would, from your location on what you're seeing out to the west as that storm's coming your way.
Travis, all the lightning you're seeing is looking back to the west. I'm on Highway 31. I'm out ahead of it right now, so the wind's died down. I've got very little wind at this point, and it looks like it's moving in this direction. Back to you.
All right, thank you, sir. And about 392 customers without power in, was that McAllister or Pittsburgh? Pittsburgh County? Pittsburgh County, and that number could go up very quickly, so there's a lot of people that could be out of power. As I mentioned, tornado warning now has been canceled for the northern portions of Latimer County. We're going to hang on just a little bit longer here just to see if anything else is going to be reissued. The line is strong to severe thunderstorms, continues in this zone, still very turbulent. And then Vaughn, I'd sure like to see if Vaughn is going to be able to get back with us. Is JD, what's his status right now? Do you know at this time, Sawyer?
He's between Wilburton and Red Oak.
Okay, Wilburton and Red Oak. And if we could, that's where Tim is located too, or not?
Yes.
Are we kind of in the same spot?
Yeah.
Okay. JD, if you would, do you have an update for me? Are you able to give me some update?
Yes, I am, Travis. Still, the lightning off to the north is pretty consistent. The heavy rain has been the biggest problem on 270. It's really slowed us down. It's coming down faster than it can drain off the road. We had some hail, 30 minutes or so ago. We haven't had any since then. The winds are out of the north, but they're pretty light. And we just saw the edge of this thing off to our east. So we're going to try to get out in front of it, and maybe this thing will have a little bit more time to redevelop, and we'll be in better position there, Travis. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, severe thunderstorm continues for this area. Severe thunderstorm warning. So we still have a very active thunderstorm. Back to radar for a moment, and you can see what's going on right to the south of Darren, south of Muskogee. And so it's a severe storm warning that's moving across Haskell County. And so that's going to be heavy thunderstorms, strong winds. Got the guys all around that. Vaughn's on the west side, northwest side of that. Vaughn, I see your videos back. What do you have for us?
Yeah, Travis, extremely heavy rain. It's really tough to drive in this, I'm telling you. But the strong winds have stayed with me. Sometimes they're from the west, sometimes they're from the northwest, in that general direction. So we're going to try to catch back up with this thing. We'll get back with you as soon as we have some minutes.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it, Vaughn. And again, these guys running in some pretty intense weather. And again, power outage is coming in from McAllister. As we said, almost 400 customers without power. There was a kind of what could be considered an area line that could be trees down that were in a path, so we could have had a tornado. We'll worry about that later. National Weather Service will go check that out. Those guys get on it really fast, and so we might have some information for you tomorrow midday or in the afternoon when station comes on at 4 o'clock. As we look at what's going on, though, still the severe thunderstorms continue to track to the northeast. Tornado warnings have been canceled, as we said, for northern portions of Latimer County, but we do have additional heavy downpours of rain that have occurred around the McAllister area. Station mentioned this. She's given us an update on a few of these. So 2 inches of rain in a couple of hours. That's a very, very big rain event. And there's still rain falling in some of these areas. So we still have actually a severe thunderstorm warning continuing right around the McAllister area for heavy rain, some lightning and thunder. The biggest storm right now is around the Kiowa area, but there's still additional rain at this time around McAllister. So that the worst is to the east, but additional rain will just aggravate the flooding potential. And then back further to the north and west, that's where the strongest storms are located that have a new severe thunderstorm warning associated with those. And you can see what's going on here. So this is the active weather in southeast. Darren's on the storms that have been around the Muskogee area and then in southern Cherokee County. And then also we have the severe thunderstorms that are coming in across areas of Okfuskee County. New severe thunderstorm warning on the south side there, and the severe thunderstorm warning still going strong at this particular moment across the western half of Okfuskee County. And now that's starting to get a little bit more intense. So as we mentioned, around the Tuskegee area, hail cores are in these areas, and then extending back to the south and to the west. And Stacia's getting a storm track on us for this particular storm, but we're going to be looking at, again, severe thunderstorm warning at this hour continues to show up, a new one for Seminole, around Seminole area to Cromwell. So this is tracking to the northeast. So new severe warning here. This most likely will be extended into eastern and southeastern Creek, and then also into western Okmulgee County, and maybe into the northern and central portions of Okfuskee County, maybe the whole county right now, because the south side is still intensifying some. So there's a lot of moisture, and the main part of a storm system is still out to the west that is bringing in this warm, moist air up over even a north wind near the surface. So it's very kind of bizarre a little bit. It's a good thing, though, that they're kind of disjunct, or just not in flow, because of what's happening right now is the fact that if they were all together and the storm system was a little bit closer in and the warm moist air was all right in packed, we'd have multiple tornadoes. So that's the good thing, I guess we can call it, but still a lot of action going on. Stacia has an update also from what's going on with the storm track. Station.
All right, Travis, we're going to track this to the northeast at only 35 miles per hour. So take a look here. This is going to move it up towards Slick, to Beggs, to Mounds. That's where we have Brandon Wells is in Mounds right now, so he's watching this storm for us. But for the Slick area at about 8:44, we've had that cell just to the west of Edna. That has kind of developed out ahead of the main storm that we had, so we may see that kind of continue. So this thunderstorm, granted it's moving northeast, there might be some development that kind of makes it seem like it's moving even faster on that northeast side. So we're going to watch for that. But right now, Slick, it's just several miles back to your southwest. That should be in your vicinity at least within the next 10 minutes or so. Heavy rain, hail potential, some gusty winds. Beggs at about 8:54. Mounds will be closer to about 9 o'clock, along with Preston at about 9 o'clock as well. So again, this is tracking the severe thunderstorm in far northwestern Okfuskee County now, tracking it into southern Creek County, maybe even clipping northwestern Okmulgee County. And if it holds together, it could track into the Tulsa Metro, like Trav, that you had mentioned earlier, potentially this storm doing.
All right, thank you, Stacia. And again, severe thunderstorm, none in Tulsa, but we do have some light rain on the east side of town. And then Darren's been around the Muskogee area watching the heavy rain and thunderstorms for us there. And you can see around the Lake Tenkiller area, a lot of these areas have picked up a lot of water over the last week to 10 days. So, I mean, we've basically got saturated soil. So it doesn't take a lot of water to cause some additional flooding. Darren, though, has been watching the storm as it's been going through Muskogee. We have a couple of hail cores in a few of these areas. Darren, what do you have for us right now?
Yeah, Travis, just sitting on the east side of the OG&E plant, western side of Fort Gibson. Right now, just some moderate rainfall going on. Do want to caution, if you're out there driving in it, there is water standing on the Muskogee Pike on the exit ramps and on the turnpike itself, and so you hit those and you can't see anything, and so there is a minor flooding issue going on. But right now, just some cloud to ground lightning going on. Not much wind, per se, but we'll just keep watching this as it tracks across the area, Travis. Back to you.
All right, and I appreciate it, Darren. And Darren's job probably get a little bit more active here over the next few hours. There's a better chance that some of those thunderstorms could reignite across the Tulsa area and areas to Muskogee here. So you guys just be ready through the rest of the night. Hail cores are possible and some hail mixed in. Darren had mentioned some dime-sized hail. Back to radar for a moment, and you'll be able to see some heavy rainfalls. In fact, Darren, as he mentioned, that's a lot of water in just a short period of time, anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch. Stacia's just plotted for us, and that goes in northwestern portions of Sequoia County and central and eastern Muskogee County. And so that's going to continue. And then also, you see the magenta colors. That's where rain is mixed with potential for some dime-size, pea-size hail. Nothing serious, but out to the west, it could be a little bit worse as we go through the next 20 minutes to hour. And we'll talk more about Creek County coming up. First of all, severe thunderstorm warnings continue in effect. Strong wind potential near Bob. At this time, is Bob, I'm going to say, as his GPS moved from south of Whitefield, is he at Kinta, LaQuire? LaQuire, still LaQuire. Okay. So let's talk to Bob for a second, as that's just to his west. Bob, what do you have for us? What are you seeing on that storm coming in from the west?
Travis, there's a lot of intense lightning back to the west. Right now, we're still fairly calm here in LaQuire, but you can definitely see that it's still quite intense back to the west. Back to you, Travis.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. So, again, we're watching as that storm's getting ready to move in, and quite a bit of lightning on that storm. Right now, take a look at radar again, and you can see that the stronger winds associated with that. If we can go to radar, you guys, and there you go. Thank you. And so this is where we still have turbulent conditions. And so Bob's right here around the LaQuire area. And the shear rates continue to show the strong winds, turbulent winds, 50, 60 miles an hour. So the winds have come down considerably compared to what they were when we were tornado warned. But it's still a potential for some strong damaging winds. And you can see the different colors alone make you go, But that is where we have strong winds coming in from out of a westerly direction. And then we have more of an northeast wind coming in from where Bob was supposed to be on his GPS compared to where he actually is near LaQuire. But a heavy rainfall in here, lots of lightning, and then flooding rainfall is going to be an issue here as well. And hail core potential is going on in this zone. And is Vaughn coming in on Quentin right now, most likely? I'm going to, Vaughn's, right when I asked for it, looks like his video just froze up. I'm going to come back to him in just a second if his video jumps back. Let's talk to JD for a minute, who's just to the south and east. JD, quick update from your location just to the south of this storm. Go ahead. You there, JD? Again, okay. Let's go back on over to Vaughn then, because Vaughn is hanging up into an area that I see his video. Let's just take his video for a second. And so this is what, I don't want him really talking to me anyway after looking at this shot. So this is what's going on. And this is a severe thunderstorm warning. And so this is around the Quentin area. And so if you're in these areas, you're going to have to be aware that this is not going to be a good situation for you. Winds still, that looks like probably 60, maybe higher miles per hour if we can get him back on the phone. But again, I hate to bother him. And Sawyer, if we can probably leave him alone because he needs to find the road. Looks like a blizzard out there instead of anything else. So this is on the warned part of the storm. This is still a very active, severe thunderstorm warning. And that's still that same storm on the north and west sides that caused the wind damage. And that's in potential tornado near McAllister to the east. Vaughn, I'm not going to bother you very long, but it looks like you've been in a storm blizzard. What do you have for us?
Yeah, it's extremely heavy rain. Starting to get some hail probably approaching, nickel. They're starting to sound a little bit bigger, but still not damaging hail. But the rain is just coming down in buckets, man. It's and trying to drive in it's just almost too much. But we're picking our way down, coming up on Kenta here pretty quick. So as soon as we get something else, we'll report back. Back to you.
All right. Hey, just a quick question before you leave. Wind, what are you estimating winds?
Winds have continued to be strong. I would say we would have most of the time 40 to 45. Maybe sometimes we have gusts like that one right there, probably 55. Approaching severe limits for sure. So everybody still needs to take cover because of the high wind event. Back to you. Starting to get a lot of leaves and limbs blowing around too. Small limbs, not big ones.
All right. Hey, thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate it. We'll let you go because it looks like you're getting into kind of a cellular place where we're not going to be able to pick you up. Let's go back to radar if we could and see what's happening. So this is you can see JD to the south, Tim down around the Red Oak area. Here's the Kenta area. Quinton is where Vaughn is located, coming in on the west side. So again, this is all turbulent area with strong damaging wind potential. Bob is still around the LaQuire area, so that leading edge should be getting right up to Bob about now. He's still got rain and or still has rain and not too much else going on at this moment. But that's just going to, as soon as that hits Bob, we're going to go out to him. So heavy rain, thunderstorms. You see a lot of lightning, flooding potential is in this area as well. And with that will come, you just don't want to be driving if you don't have to. We do think that the atmosphere still has a chance down where Tim is located in Red Oak. And if Tim's with me right now, hey, Tim, do you have what kind of winds do you have coming into that storm right now?
You talking to Tim, Travis? Sorry?
Yep. Yeah, I was talking to you. What kind of winds do you have coming in?
Right here in Red Oak, we got very light winds, Travis. A lot of lightning to the south and to the north. But right here in Red Oak, almost no wind. Maybe a little bit out of the southwest.
That's it. Okay, so leading edges. Are you looking to the which direction are you looking? Are you looking to the west or north or what?
We're actually looking straight south. There's an intense cell to my south, but to the east, almost nothing. The really intense lightning's to my north, Travis.
Yep. Okay. Okay, and let's go over to Bob, who's just getting hit with that storm now in LaQuire. Bob, what do you have for us?
Yeah, I'm getting 40, 45 plus mile-an-hour winds here in LaQuire with driving rain as the storm's moving in. You can see from my shot in the background the trees that are moving quite significantly. So it's on us here. Back to you, Travis.
All right, so it's moving in town right at this moment. So if you are in the areas around LaQuire, it's moving in on it with a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for you guys. And that will be in effect. Stacia, I kind of lost track of that severe thunderstorm warning. 9 o'clock. Okay, right up till 9 o'clock there. And so that's the main thunderstorm. Let's go back into Okfuskee County and Creek County. You see an expansion of the thunderstorms moving from Welty and Tuskegee at this point. So again, the hail core is still showing up, not a lot, and lightning core is a little bit more, or I say lightning core, more lightning strikes are happening a little bit further to the south around the Boley area, but around Welty area, again with a core potentially, some dime nickel size hail. That will continue to move to the northeast. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for this area. And then additional rain and thunderstorms are popping up. That also goes till 9 o'clock tonight. At 9 o'clock, if we don't have any major changes and no tornado warnings, we will go back to our regular programming on Channel 6. And also, we will start our severe weather coverage on our CW newscast at 9 o'clock. So just be advised for that. And so if you want to continue with our severe weather coverage, you can do that. Now, if we go back to a tornado warning or something weird happens, we'll be back on Channel 6 and simulcasting as well. So again, severe thunderstorm warnings in a couple locations. The severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for southern Pittsburgh County, that has been canceled. The flood warning still in effect in this zone. And then we have the severe thunderstorm warning in the southeast. We have the severe thunderstorm warning southwest of Tulsa. And then we have the heavy rains that could lead to some flash flooding or at least some flooding in flood-prone areas in southern Cherokee and also in southern Adair County. So a lot of things still going on. Fortunately, no tornado warning at this moment. And we're looking at 846, almost 847. Down in southeastern Oklahoma still continues to be some of the strongest storms for you guys. Tim is at the Red Oak area, as we said, and he's still covering the south side of that. There's no circulation in here that looks bad. I'm going to have Stacia go ahead and do a storm track, though, on some of this area because this is still very active. And as Vaughn mentioned, or Vaughn was showing us, the winds are really strong. And where Tim is located at this moment, it is just not too bad because he's just in advance of the strong winds coming in. Tim, I'm going to come back to you just for a second. Do you have any additional winds or any changes coming up in your place?
Yeah, Travis, we're picking up west winds here, occasionally up to 45. We had one really big hit of wind, but now it's probably down to 25, maybe 30. But we're on the leading edge of that storm as it moves east. We'll keep you advised.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. And Vaughn is still in the midst of some really intense thunderstorms as well. Back to radar for a moment. Well, that's okay. We'll just take Vaughn's video. Vaughn, any changes from your location?
Not really, just more of the same. Have come across a few bigger limbs in the road here on the highway between Kinta and Leakwire. So just be aware that there's probably some pretty strong winds in here. And we're going to keep tracking it. Back to you.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it. And Bob is getting hit now on the east side of that storm. And Bob, is Bob's location still LaQuire?
Should be
East of LaQuire now. Bob, if you can, give me an update on you.
Hey, Travis, I'm east of LaQuire and 31. I've been getting hit with winds probably just a little bit north of 50 miles an hour. It's driving the rain across the road in sheets. Pretty blinding out here. We're getting a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning going on, and I'm getting a few pings of hail at this time. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Bob. I appreciate it very much. Again, heavy thunderstorms that are severe across several areas. And Stacia is going to have an update on severe thunderstorm warning in just a moment. But this, again, heaviest of the rains showing up across eastern and central Haskell County, northern portions right now of Latimer County. This is the more severe part of the storm system. Also out to the west, we've been following the storms in Okfuskee and Creek County, and Stacia's been looking at some data associated with that. And Stacia, what did you find out?
Well, Travis, the warning that we had for Okfuskee County, that is now allowed to be canceled. So these thunderstorms are now under the severe weather criteria, the severe weather limit. It's still worth watching, but that is good. That's really good news for folks in Okfuskee County tonight and Southern Creek County. We'll still monitor these storms and, of course, track them because there is the potential that these heavy thunderstorms could roll into the Tulsa metro here within the next about 30-45 minutes or so. So that's what we have on radar as of now. And Trav, I do have a track for you on this thunderstorm in Haskell County. I'll go ahead and do that. And again, we're tracking really strong winds with this storm. As Bob Roloff has mentioned, Von Castor, J.D. McManus, Tim Crone, they've been tracking this thunderstorm for you since it moved into our area earlier this evening. And the latest track does put those strong winds now in the community of Stigler. You may lose power. In fact, as these thunderstorms moved through Pittsburg County, now we have over 1,000 people in the county of Pittsburg without power. So these thunderstorms, the strong winds can do some damage. We've heard of tree limbs being down, power now being out in many spots. So this is still a powerful storm, a severe storm. McCurtain at 8:56, Kyoto at about 9:02. The Kerr Reservoir, if you live around there, that'd be about 9:07. Harrison would be about 9:13. So again, not any circulation per se, but still some very strong wind potential with this. Trav?
Yeah, I just got an update from, was that from Kindle? Yeah, okay. We got chastised for not saying LeQuire. We were saying LeQuire. LeQuire. I know that. Sorry. Got so excited about storms, I kind of lost my pronunciation guide for Oklahoma towns. LeQuire. There we go. Sorry. Apologize on that. Shower and thunderstorm activity, though, as we continue. And Stacia, thanks for that update. We still have the flood warning around McAllister and Pittsburg County, but that is dying down. 3 inches. 3 inches now? Wow. So much water. So again, we say turn around, don't drown on that. Heavy thunderstorms continue across an area. And again, from Haskell into northern Latimer County, there's big storms down to your south. Hopefully those don't move northeast too fast. We've had as well heavy thunderstorms around, and most of these are still heavy enough that a few of these could produce some hail with some time. So if you are on the south sides of Tulsa, Brandon's getting ready to intercept some of that that's coming in. So these are going to be active thunderstorms, and they're going to have some small hail potential with these because these cores are just right in that zone. And can we go to live radar for a second and just take a look at reflectivity values and see? So the better chances of like a hail core would be just east of Slick right now. So that'd be just southwest of Mounds. So that's just going to be probably some pea dime size, maybe up to nickel size hail. That's not out of the realm of possibility there. You can see 225th West Avenue with 870 Road and then that's also going to continue to track northeast. So there could be some hail in those, so don't be surprised. Just because they're not warned doesn't mean they won't have a potential for some hail. That's coming in on the southwest sides of Tulsa, and we do think that a few storms could have some hail around the Tulsa area. So that's the situation there. Back to the south around the Schulter area, you see some moderate to heavy rainfall. Back further to the south, McIntosh County, you're clear. At this point, you still have rain and thunder and lightning, but nothing severe. And the only severe thunderstorm warning we're concerned with right now would be into portions of Haskell County. And you can see where Tim is located, Red Oak. That should be some pretty strong winds now, getting close to where Tim is. Tim, can you give me an update on your storm a little bit? It doesn't look bad, but what do you have?
Yeah, sorry about that, Travis. I was on mute. Yeah, the storm is starting to move east here into Red Oak. The winds have picked up pretty steady now, 25 to 35 tops. The rain's just really starting to hit here now, but the lightning has dropped substantially, so maybe this storm is on a fading out phase. But to my north, it's still a lot of intense lightning, so maybe that's where the stronger stuff is. We'll keep you advised.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it so much. And Bache, there are some people that were mentioning that we didn't quite get that one right. Hey, we might be rusty because we kind of took 2020 off, I think, with hardly any severe weather. So we're going to say we're rusty on that. Back to radar real quick. I did want to remind everyone as well, our severe weather coverage will continue on CW coming up at 9 o'clock. We will go back to regular programming on Channel 6 unless there's a change. We have a new severe thunderstorm warning, though, that has just been issued, and that's going to be for eastern Latimer County and then also for portions of northern and western LaFleur County. And that is the area that you see right in here from Talihina, extending all the way to Poto and then back on up Spiro area and around Salisaw. And an update on that continues to show that that will most likely, what is that, till 9:45 for that? Yeah, till 9:45. And the strongest winds are where Tim is located, then back on up to Stigler. And then we're going to say that those winds here should be very strong. And that's getting closer to the radar site. And now we're up to 1,337 customers in Pittsburgh County without power. Kendall, thanks for that information. That's a lot of folks without power. And again, it's not just people, it is customers. So that represents households pretty much. So you can see what's going on here. This is coming in right now on Keota. If you're in Stigler, you should have strong gusty winds. Is anybody near that? Because I don't know if trust GPS right at this particular moment. Who we've got right in there, Sawyer?
Bob might be just south of it.
Might be south. Who is? Bob. Bob is? Okay. Hey, Bob, can you give me an idea where you are exactly? Go ahead, Bob, if you can hear me.
Hey, Travis, I'm on Highway 31 and North 4490 Road. I'm sorry, I'm getting very heavy rain and some probably pea-sized hail to dime-sized hail this time, and a lot of torrential rain, and the wind is still going 35, 40 miles an hour. Back to you.
All right, thanks. So that's, again, so anywhere from Stigler to Whitefield, you guys are going to be, getting nailed with very, very heavy rainfall. That's why the severe thunderstorm warning continues in effect for this area. We still have an atmosphere that is favorable, unfortunately, for these severe storms to continue for a while longer in this zone. And then the upper level disturbance still has to come through, which is going to enhance our severe weather potential around Tulsa. It's not bad, but I mean, it's going to be heavy rains, thunder, lightning, and some hail. I say not bad, and then watch somebody's roofs get lost in a hailstorm. But we have new severe thunderstorm warning now. You can just see popping up. That's a storm. That's going to go till 9:45. Stations all over it. And that will be catching in near Sardis Lake. And so that's southeastern portions of Pittsburgh County. Once again, these are the storms that are coming in out of the south. We ended up with quite a few tornado warnings in central Texas earlier. Fortunately, and then a new severe thunderstorm warning as well down at Colgate. And you can see that we have still an active tornado warning on the south side of the Dallas area. And so this has been active weather for them. So this is that whole big long line, big storm system coming in. And then you see severe weather still out west. So the upper level low is still out here, and that's enhancing the boundary that's here. And so that's why I'm glad that this one and this one aren't a little bit closer together, because if they were in sync, this would be an ugly, ugly night across the area. Thunderstorms, though, still showing up. Lots of rain, showers, thunderstorms. The new warnings are going to be just on the southwest side of Pittsburgh County, as if you need any more rain, you're going to get more rain. So that thunderstorm's coming in severe with some hail and winds to 60 miles an hour. And then that storm that's coming up, they'll be near Sardis Lake and then also southeastern Pittsburgh County till 9:45. You'll get additional rain with that and maybe some hail and wind. And then, of course, all the guys have been all over these storms, so they're getting the wind, the rain, and the terrible driving conditions here. Darren has been on the rain, and he's moving west to intercept some of these storms out west. And then also you can see from Cherokee County into Adair County continues to be strong to severe thunderstorms. So we are getting close to our newscast time. Just wanted to mention again, if you're just joining us, we are going to go back to regular programming on Channel 6. And then also we are going to continue our severe weather coverage News on 6 at 9 on our CW affiliate. So if you want to continue to watch our severe weather coverage and catch some news of the day, hopefully we can squeeze in some. We're going to plan on doing that as well. And then also, of course, at 10 o'clock, we'll be right back. That'll be coming up here in just a little bit. First of all, rain and thunderstorms, though, still going to be strong, possibly severe. Don't be surprised if that's starting to come in on the Tulsa area in a little bit, because there's still a good chance that there's going to be hail coming out of that. And we do anticipate, even though it's not severe at this moment, a few of those hail cores are starting to show up on our live radar around Depew and just east of Stroud. So that's a hail core right in there. You see the black. We enhanced the radar so you can see where the better chances of hail are located. And then that's moving in on the northwest corner right now of Okmulgee County. That could be moving in around the mounds area. Not a big hail core. It'll probably be some pea to dime size hail with that. So that's what we would anticipate. So that's the plan right now. The severe thunderstorms down to the south and to the east. And we're talking about, again, we're about a minute away from transitioning on over to our news. But I just want for the Channel 6 viewers, again, heavy thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms continuing in portions of eastern and northeastern Latimer County, all of Haskell County, and now moving into western portion of LaFleur County and southwestern portion of Sequoia County. That'll be a severe thunderstorm warning till 9:45. Flood warning in effect. Pittsburgh County, southeastern Pittsburgh County, severe thunderstorm warning, and now a tornado warning just outside of our viewing area. That is moving into southeastern Pittsburgh County. We'll be back on Channel 6 if we have to, but we're going to go to CW. That's not in our viewing area yet, but the circulation is very strong right in this area. So if you are on the south side, we're barely pick up around Daisy area, but if you're in this area, we want you to move to a place of safety just to be on the safe side. All right, we're going to make the transition now. I want to thank you for watching us with our severe weather coverage, and we will continue again coming up in a little bit.
Imagine this trial as the Super Bowl. I don't even know if I can give him a fair trial. Objection. Sustained.
I'm so scared she's gonna look biased toward me. Put me on the stand. No, let me help you take him down.
Your life's work is at stake. And for what?
A new All Rise next Monday, 9, 8 Central, or stream anytime on CBS.
Colbert's got Daniel Kaluuya and a special appearance by Taylor Swift tonight.
That update. I know you and Josh are going to be safe tonight, so we will check in. It's a loft. There's not a whole lot going on down at the surface. Okay, now we have a severe thunderstorm warning for Dallas County, Ellis County, Kaufman County. So that's the latest on the Ellis County storm. Now it's a severe thunderstorm warning coming out for much of southern Ellis County, into southern Dallas County, into Kaufman County. So that's in response to the cluster that's over northern Ellis County. It's not the tornado warned part. It's the cluster that's over northern Ellis County. And it could be some damaging winds. That's the primary threat, along with that quarter up to golf ball size hail. So it's this area right through here. So it's from Cedar Hill. It's really everything down here, you know, Midlothian, and this whole big area right through here that's moving through this southern part of Dallas County. So let's put a track on that. And Jason, let's just track it from Midlothian, kind of put that type of a track on it, and then we will track that, because there's not just one specific spot, right? It's that whole area that's moving in that direction toward Lancaster and Seagoville. Here we go. It'll arrive in Ovilla at 9:11, Waxahachie at 9:18. It's 60-mile-per-hour winds, and it's quarter up to golf ball size hail. DeSoto, 9:21. Lancaster at 9:30, Wilmer at 9:36, Ferris at 9:38. It will arrive in Seagoville at 9:55, Crandall at 10:04, Wausau at 10:10, Talty at 10:14, Post Oak, Bend City 10:21, and Terrell, it'll arrive there at 10:29. That's the Dallas County storm. This is the first one we've had in quite a while for Dallas County. We had warnings earlier for Tarrant County, but now we have southern Dallas County with a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect. And the severe thunderstorm warning, so here's the deal. If you have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and you do in Dallas County, and you do in Ellis County, you do in Kaufman County, in conjunction with a tornado watch, many locations, most locations will sound the sirens. Okay, it's not because it's a tornado threat, but it's a damaging wind and it's a large hail threat. So when you have those two in effect, and we have them, you're going to have some sirens sounded. So don't be surprised right now if don't be surprised right now if you're hearing the sirens. And Mateo, are you telling me that we have a lot of lightning right now on that camera down at Hanson's house in Waxahachie? Let's take that. I know we talked to Mike Leslie just a few moments ago. Do we still have Mike on the phone? Can we talk to him? No Mike Leslie. But we can see the lightning right now that's in Waxahachie. So Waxahachie is kind of in the middle of it right now. Waxahachie is not under a tornado warning. The cell between Waxahachie and Palmer is showing broader and less distinct rotation. That's the one to the south, which is telling me that the tornado threat has diminished somewhat. That would impact you in Ennis, for example, but not Waxahachie. So based on some damage that we're now getting some reports right along 35 that we may have had a brief touchdown in that area. So there may have been a brief touchdown to the west of you in Waxahachie, south of you in Waxahachie, maybe the Maypearl area. There may have been a brief touchdown there, because we're now getting reports. We're now getting reports in Ellis County. Now, we're also showing some traffic is completely stopped right where the tornado may have crossed 35E and Johnson Road in Ellis County. So right now, traffic is at a dead stop where the tornado most likely crossed 35E and Johnson Road in Ellis County. That's where we're showing some damage. That's at 35E, that's south of Waxahachie. So Matt Howerton's in that general area. So Mateo, I know you're in the control room right now talking to me in my ear. If you can have Howerton head to that area, Ellis County, it's on 35E and Johnson Road. That's it right there. I don't know where Kaylee, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Oh, actually, as you were talking about this, I was putting in some pictures that we're getting off social media, and we did have a picture sent in of this crash that you're talking about on 35E. It is a semi that has been blown, a good portion of it blown across the highway there. So that is why there's going to be a major traffic situation. To be honest, I don't know much in the way of information, but this is just one of the pictures. Let me step out so you can see it, of what has happened, more than likely because of how wet and that ponding that Matt Howerton was talking about and the winds associated with whether it was a tornado or it was those straight line winds that can do that as well. So this is that picture, Pete, that you were talking about. I have a few more if you'd like me to keep going, or if you would like me to go back, we can kind of do that. So let's go ahead and hit spacebar. I'll show you a few more of the pictures that I've put together here. Thank you for sending them in. We of course want you to make sure you're safe. This was a safe distance away. This was a picture sent in from Canine Good that is looking toward the Cleburne storm earlier. That was a tornado warned storm. You can see the lowering wall cloud with that tornado warned storm earlier. Let's go ahead and go on to the next one. And then if you look here, this is some damage from a tree down in McKinney from Jennifer. We showed that a little bit ago, but you can see this is, look at these roots from this tree just completely blown over from the winds from this storm. Let's go ahead and go to the next one here that we have. And this is a video sent in from Ann out of Allen of the tree just snapped off of, it's not completely, the tree isn't down, but just a huge limb that fell. I hope everyone was safe out of that. But I think I have one more picture here, a video. And this is completely different. The standing water that in many locations across North Texas now, after the storms have moved through, just standing water or ponding on the roadways if you're driving through some of these storms that are still ongoing. Please be careful. Remember to not drive over flooded roadways. Pete, I'm going to send it back to you.
Yeah, Kaylee, and I appreciate that update. I know you're working on a couple of other things. Let's go to Mike Leslie right now. Mike, down in Waxahachie. So tell me what's going on. Did you see a tornado, what you thought was a tornado earlier?
I mean, you know as well as anybody, Pete, I'm not an expert in this, but I've got somebody that's pretty close to me that is, and from what we saw, it certainly looked like a tornado on the ground just to the east and somewhat north of us. So getting closer to I-35, basically between us and I-35, and probably in reasonably close proximity to the accident that you're talking about. It was maybe 30 seconds that we saw it for. I ran to grab our camera that was pointed in the opposite direction to bring it over there, and by the time I had the camera in place, it had almost dissipated and was out of view for us any longer. But it was in view for about a minute or so to the east and to the north of us.
Okay, Mike, I appreciate that update. South of you right now, we have Matt Howerton. Matt, tell me where you are, and let's see your picture here if we can.
Yeah, we're on I-35. We're headed to that area, I-35E and Johnson Road, and this is it looks like a fire truck that's in front of us, and those are the flashing lights that are in front of us. We also saw some police sirens. We saw some police lights that were headed to this accident or this area, I believe, that was about a mile ahead of us that we saw kind of turning into the highway. So we don't know where that response team is just right now, but we're actually behind what looks like an emergency vehicle, a fire truck. I can't really tell too much because of the windshield in front of me, but at the same time, we're following them. And we're going to this area where we've heard about that semi that was flipped over. And yeah, don't know if it was straight line winds, if it was possibly a tornado that touched down, or even if it was an accident. Like we said, the rain was pretty heavy here in this area, but we're on our way, and we're going to get you a report as soon as we show up.
Okay, Matt, I appreciate that update. I have a picture right now from Mike Leslie. Let's get Mike back on the phone. Mike, are you still on the phone with us? Right. Okay, we're going to get Leslie on the phone here in just a second. This is a picture that Mike took on his phone. He was trying to turn his camera around there at his house. That's a live picture right now. Yeah,
Pete,
Mike.
can you hear me? I am here.
Mike, do we have you on the phone right now?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Yep. So go ahead. We have the still picture that you sent us. We're going to put that back. We're going to put that back on the air and just describe to us, what you saw, what you heard. Give us those details.
To the north and to the east of us, moving toward I-35, where we're located. We are south and west of the highway. It was probably between us and I-35 and moving in that direction. Where we are now, we do not have power any longer, so I can't see exactly what picture you guys are showing on the air, but I imagine it's probably somewhat reflective of what we were seeing down here just about maybe 15 minutes ago at this point. It was what certainly appeared to be a tornado off in maybe about 2 to 3 miles in the distance to our north and to our east.
Okay. Mike, and I appreciate that. And my earpiece was breaking up just a moment. Did you mention the sound that you heard or anything distinct like that? And if you did, would you mind mentioning that to me one more time, please?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it definitely sounded like there was again, I'm not an expert here, but I would say kind of like a whooshing type sound that you'd think would be associated with a tornado. It looked clear as day, like it was a tornado on the ground off in the distance for us here in southwestern Waxahachie. Okay.
Mike, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that update. That's a still picture that you grabbed there with your phone. So I think it was actually a picture that was...
Maybe we just get off on the right here. I don't know, man. What do you want to do?
Okay, Josh, we're back now to our Matt. Matt and Josh are out there. So, okay, hey, Matt, we have a new tornado warning that's coming out for northeastern Ellis County. That's going to extend into far west Kaufman County. So let's do this. Let's go back to the radar for just a second. I know you guys are going to where that damage was. So we have a new tornado warning that's coming out. It's going to go into Kaufman County. Okay, so it's going to handle that, I guess, that continued circulation and that hook that's northwest of Ennis right now. So there's still a tornado threat with that storm, which now has a history of producing a tornado. This is the one that created damage. Meteorologist Kaylee Dion showed you that damage just a short time ago, and now we have the new tornado warning for Ellis and Kaufman County that goes until 10 o'clock. So here's Palmer, there's Waxahachie. So it's, remember a few moments ago I talked about the area between Waxahachie and Palmer, and the circulation was still unfortunately there. There's our hook right now. So you see we have this tornado warning up here. We have this new one down here to the south. So really anywhere from, I mean, from just to the east of Waxahachie, just assume that if you live east of Waxahachie right now from Ferris to Palmer and then on into Kaufman County, Rosser and Scurry, that you are under a tornado warning. And you are until 10 o'clock tonight. So it's Ellis, that part of Ellis County, that part of Kaufman County until 10 o'clock tonight. So what we're seeing with this storm, and Jason, let's put a track on this from the Palmer area, run it off to the kind of the east-northeast at about 35 miles per hour. Move it over in that direction. There it is, because it's still a broad area of rotation down around Boyce right now. That'll arrive in Palmer at 9:23, Rosser at 9:50, Warsaw 9:55, and Scurry at 9:59. That's the latest. This is the same storm. We know that it produced a tornado in Hill County. Can you guys get that picture up for me? There were 2 pictures earlier from one of the emergency managers in Hill County. If you guys could put that picture up in Hill County, that would be great. And then we also saw that damage in Ellis County right there south of Waxahachie on 35E. So the hook right now is, it's not as well defined as it was just a short time ago, but we have the tornado, 2 pictures of the tornado in Hill County, and if you guys could get that for me, and we'll show that on the air. And in addition to that, the damage that's just south of Waxahachie right now, we don't know if it was straight line winds that caused these vehicles to turn over or if it was a tornado, but right now this is the crash. It's a semi that flipped over on 35E, so at a minimum we know that it's wind damage. We just don't know if it was rotating or if it was straight line, but right now we're watching these storms in these areas, and we'll continue to do that as we head through the remainder of the evening. Ellis County, Kaufman County tornado warning in effect right now until 10 o'clock tonight. So those are the areas of concern. Johnson County, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. We still have a tornado warning in effect for Ellis County and also Kaufman until 10 o'clock. The southern part of Dallas County has a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and it's really focused around Lancaster, so it's central Dallas County and then into eastern Dallas County and then into western Kaufman County, where we have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect, and that goes until the warning. Jason, let me show everyone the severe thunderstorm warning. I think that goes until 9:30 or 9:45. It's somewhere in that general area. That's for Dallas County, and as he has to zoom in because otherwise the tornado warning takes over. Oh, Dallas and Ellis and Kaufman, that's until 10 o'clock. So that's what we have happening. Everything right now, the severe weather threat is all south of the city of Dallas, and it is not in Tarrant County. Let's do this. Let's go to the, let's take a look at the Metroplex radar right now and let everyone see what's happening across the area. We are watching some good outflow racing out ahead of some of these storms. That's undercutting some of these, the rotation with these storms. So we don't have any tornado warnings to the north of Denton right now. That is fantastic news. Let's take a look at a storm up there, Jason. That is north of Denton. It is a severe thunderstorm that's in northern Denton County that's moving up into Cook County and also Grayson County. It's a thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 10 o'clock tonight, but there's no rotation with this, and that is great news. There's 60 to 70 mile per hour straight line winds, and there's quarter size hail. That's not good news, but there's not a tornado threat with this one right now. Let's go to Matt Howerton. Matt, I believe you've arrived at the crash scene. We'll take the radar back down to Ellis County and zoom in there. Man, not what we wanted to see, Matt.
Yeah, so we're getting some pretty heavy wind gusts here. We're going to stay pretty close to the car. Hang on one second. Basically, we're getting some pretty heavy wind gusts. So what we're going to try and do is stay pretty close to the car here, not get too close to this. But what we can tell here, it looks like there's at least two 18-wheelers that have tipped over. There's also some cars here in the area that have been pushed over, and the median has been completely disconnected and pushed over too. So I'm not sure if that is a result of the cars here being pushed over and the semi-trailers being pushed over, or if this was an area where we did have a touchdown and we had some of these straight line winds. Not clear exactly how this all happened, but this is a very, wait for this truck to go by. This is a very scary scene here. There's a couple of people that are, I think, being attended to by emergency personnel. But at the moment, what we can see here at I-35 East in Johnson County, just south of Waxahachie here. Now we're getting a lot of rain. Hang on, let me put my head up here. What we're going to see is these two semis that are knocked over, and then also multiple other cars that have been pushed over into the median too. So emergency personnel are out here. We have a few state troopers, Ellis County EMS. They are trying to take care of this situation, assess the situation. Very few details right now. We don't know a ton about what exactly caused this, but it does not look good. This is a spectacular piece. I've never seen something like this where you got two semis like this that are just knocked over. And if this was done by weather itself, then that's pretty amazing. That's pretty bad. Hopefully everybody in this situation is okay. I know that there's emergency personnel here that are responding. The rain is really starting to come down right now, so we're going to try to throw it back to you guys. We're going to get in another spot, but we're going to stay out here and continue covering this.
We're going to stay on this picture right now. And if you think of what's taking place, so 35E, of course, runs north to south. We had that storm rolling in from the west. So when that storm rolled in from the west and it had those strong westerly winds, it had that. Can we go back to that camera, please? Oh, we need to get out of it? Okay. So, but if you think of that, when we had this, the camera, so think of what you just saw there. So the accident happened in this area down through here. We had the storm moving here, this direction. We had those strong, that truck was heading north and it had those winds. So it had all of the surface of that trailer to work with as those west winds ran into that trailer, boom. I mean, unfortunately, we see this happen in many parts of the country, especially across parts of the Rockies at different times of the season. When you have these strong winds, they get into some of these different passes or some of these different mountain passes, and you'll see these winds that can be hurricane strength, 60, 70, 80 miles per hour. And they tell these semis, remember, you've heard me talk about this before, if you have some type of an RV or a tall vehicle, stay off these roads depending on the direction of the winds, because It doesn't take much to knock those things over. Then when you have a tornado that's probably touched down there, I mean, you're looking at winds of 80, 90, maybe 100 miles per hour. So hopefully no one, my concern is for people that are hurt right now. Hopefully that hasn't been the case, but we did see one of the ambulances there, and Matt is in that area. He'll keep us updated. So the very heavy rain has moved into Matt's area right now. The tornado risk goes over around Palmer. Please don't take this lightly. You know, we showed you those pictures. I think we have those 2 pictures of the tornado when it touched down in Hill County. Mateo, if you guys can grab those for me and get those up, that would be great. I know you guys are working on that right now as well. So we have this expansive area of strong winds right now that are moving across Ellis County. That is Hill County, what you're looking at right now. That was the beginning of the tornado, and there it is in Hill County. This is a couple of hours ago. This is when that's when it was developing. The next picture is when it touched down. So all of this started to the west of Ellis. It's probably kind of west-southwest of Ellis. I mean, it's several hours ago. So that's where it initially took place. And then as it has moved off to the east-northeast tonight, even Mike Leslie had that still picture. We're back on his camera right now. They're near Waxahachie, where Mike has just seen very heavy rain, a lot of lightning, of course, and thunder as well, and maybe some gusty winds in his location of Waxahachie. He says he's about 15 miles south of downtown Waxahachie. But there's an expansive area of strong winds right now moving across 35E in Ellis County, and that's where our Matt Howerton is right now. Mateo, do we have his shot up? Is that an option to even go back to that at this point? Okay, the wind is creating some problems for them down there. So we will have that picture back as soon as we have it, and I do think we have it right now. Matt, can we talk to you?
Yeah, we are in the car right now because, man, it is really coming down. Strong winds, even some possible hail headed our way.
Somebody's being transported.
We know someone's being transported right now to...
They pulled him out of the 18-wheeler.
They pulled him out of the 18-wheeler. Someone's being transported right now to the hospital. Hopefully that person is okay after all of this. What you were talking about, Pete, was this whole incident here on the highway, the likelihood of it, being weather-related, not, clearly an accident just by somebody. It looks to me very weather-related. So basically, the whole event here is just, it's very hectic. Everybody is trying their best right now to help everyone involved, and they're also trying to avoid this rain, the winds that are coming in, and also the hail too, that is possibly going to be coming and heading this way. We can hear it hitting the tops of our car right now. But to just recap the situation, I know a lot's been going on the last 10 to 15 minutes. We are at I-35, just south of Waxahachie, near Johnson Road, and this is where we've noticed multiple 18-wheelers knocked over, some cars that were also pushed into this median here on I-35. We've seen one person pulled out of an 18-wheeler. They looked like they were okay as far as they were being transported to the hospital. They're being transported to the hospital right now. And we've also seen a lot of people helping out and trying to figure out what's going on, figuring out if anybody's hurt. And so this is a very fluid scene that we're at right now, but very likely that it was weather related here, whether it was those straight line winds or a possible touchdown, something of the other there, because it doesn't look like maybe it was an accident just based off the way that the 18-wheelers are laying here. But EMS is here, Ellis County EMS is here. There's a lot of other police that are in the area too. So basically, this is something in which we're seeing the bad part here of any sort of weather-related event, and we do see some firefighters there trying their best to just search for people and just make sure that everyone's okay. So yeah, this is on I-35. We're at Johnson Road. We have multiple vehicles here that have been turned over, likely from either the winds or maybe even a touchdown possibly, and they're working really hard through this rain. We got in the car car because it was really coming down, and some strong winds were also coming our way too. So that's the situation that we're in at this moment, and man, just prayers for anybody here that was involved, because this doesn't look good, and our hardworking first responders are trying their best right now to make sure that everybody's all right, and they're trying to get everybody the best care that they can.
Hey, Matt, tell me this. How far south of Waxahachie are you? Johnson Road, you're south of Waxahachie, but how far approximately? Any idea?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head accurately, but I would probably say at least maybe 5 to 10 minutes. I remember us I remember us driving through Waxahachie to get here, and it wasn't too far before we got here.
Okay. And have you guys, when you guys got there, I don't know if you quickly came on the air with us, but have you had a chance to talk to anyone there to find out any more details other than what you've already shared with us?
No, we have not. We have not been able to get out. The minute we got here is when this storm just showed up again. And essentially, Kaylee called me on the phone and said, you probably need to get inside. You at least probably need to take some cover here, because we're going to have some strong winds coming your way. And I mean, this is a fluid situation for anybody, because there's a lot of traffic that's still being allowed to go through. So we didn't want to chance anything or possibly get injured. So we wanted to get in the car and get safe. So yeah, I mean, this is something in which these first responders are really having to work through, not just this crazy wreck that's just happened, but they're also having to work through the weather event as well here, with all of the rain that's coming down, the winds that are being pushed around too. So yeah, this is something in which everybody here is really working hard to make sure that everyone's getting attended to, and that everyone's okay, and those that might be injured are being treated as such and being treated well, and so that they can go to the hospital.
Okay, and Matt, I do want everyone to know, I'm going to go to Cynthia and Chris in just a moment. I do want everyone to know just east of where he is, so he's just, Matt, right now the pictures you're seeing are just a few minutes south of Waxahachie at Johnson Road and 35E. East of there in Palmer, there's a tornado warning that's in effect until 10 o'clock. So if you live in the Palmer area, you need to seek shelter immediately. If you live in Rosser, this possible tornado is moving your direction. And Cynthia and Chris, I know you guys had, as we stay on this shot, I know that you guys had questions as well for Matt.
Yeah, Matt, Chris here. I'm just wondering, I know you've been on the scene and I've watched the weather deteriorate in the last 40 minutes or so since you got there, but I'm wondering, for the folks who are just joining us, can you bring us back up to speed as to what happened? Because it looks to me as if both cabs of the 18-wheelers fell on that center wall. What happened here?
Okay, so I don't want to speculate because we don't have a ton of details about what's happened, but I can tell you what I'm seeing. And essentially we have, did they just pull somebody from that 18-wheeler, Josh?
I'm trying to see.
It looks like they just may have rescued somebody from this 18-wheeler. We'll see if we can look here. They're actually putting together, looks like maybe the jaws of life to try and get somebody out of the 18-wheeler. Let me just recap real quick. We got here about 5 to 15 minutes ago. We know that there's multiple vehicles that are turned over. The semi-truck, like we said, they're turned over. The median, which is that big barricade in the middle that keeps you from going into the other lane, that's been pushed away from where it normally is in the area where the semi-trucks are right now. There's also a few other cars that don't look like, it looks like they were pushed over as well. And it seems as if that these trailers, I can't tell which direction they may have been going, but certainly it looks like they were possibly pushed over by straight line winds or possibly, a lot of that tornado-warned storm that was down here in that area. So right now we don't know who's injured. We don't know if there's any fatalities, but we do know that there's a lot of people that have been focusing here their attention here, first responders on this area. We've seen a few people get pulled over, and then get pulled out of that wreck, and then we also saw one person get pushed into one of these ambulances here to the left of us. Not sure of their condition, not sure of anybody's conditions here in this area, but we have seen what we think are pedestrians or maybe even people that got out to help. Not sure of everyone's involvement here, because the minute we got out to start asking questions, the rain just really started to come down, and we didn't want to interfere with what was going on, that our first responders and the good job that our first responders are doing here.
Matt, can you hear me? It's Izzy here. You talked about how emergency personnel are working on transporting a patient right now. I know about 10 minutes ago we watched live here on the air another patient being transported. How many injured people have you just physically seen?
If I had to count or estimate, it would be at least two, or at least two that needed the attention of first responders here on scene. But just what I'm looking at, you know, these semis, these 18-wheelers have been flipped all the way over. And so it's one of those things where I couldn't speculate how bad injuries could be.
All right, for those of you who have been following our storm coverage, that was Matt Howerton in Ellis County, where we have two semis that have been involved in a severe crash there near Waxahachie at I-35E and Johnson Road. Two of those semis were tipped over. He talked about the median being destroyed there. He says he has physically seen at least two people being taken away, or at least loaded into ambulances because they've been injured. You know, and in this area of Ellis County, I've been calling dispatch, Pete, because I've been getting a couple of reports about some pretty extensive damage in the community of Foreston. But Ellis County Dispatch, they're so busy right now that they just haven't had an opportunity to talk to me.
No, you're right. Mateo, you're up in the control room. Tell me, is this this looks like this is Hanson's house. So this is down in Waxahachie right now, and you just saw that one of the emergency responders going by. I don't know what's happening. Can we get Mike Leslie back on the phone? Is that an option to talk to him? Mike, what's happening out there? Everything's okay at your house, or where you and Hanson are, correct?
Yeah, everything's good down here, Pete. We're safe where we are. I just noticed the emergency vehicle going by, so I figured I'd track it. But yes, at least on this property, everyone's okay. Evidently, someone down the road, it's a pretty small community out here, someone down the road evidently must need some emergency service, but I just saw the vehicle making its way down the road, so I figured I'd get a shot of it.
Okay. And Mike, I know that your camera, you grabbed there's a still image that we have of the tornado from earlier. Mike, stay on the phone. Jason Joseph is going to put this picture up here. If you guys can go to Weather 49, the weather graphics system. And Mike, you took this, you had your camera rolling, and we grabbed a still image earlier. Tell us about this, approximately what time. I'm going to walk into the chroma key real fast. So this is that's the tornado right there. So Mike, tell us quickly, if you will, about what time that happened and what was taking place.
That was, honestly, Pete, I'm estimating at this point, as we've lost power now for a while, my track of time has been a little bit discombobulated, but I would say about 45 minutes to an hour ago that rolled through, and it sounded like a freight train coming through. It was very, very clearly seemed to us as though that was a tornado on the ground, and it was moving in the direction of 35. Whether or not it was necessarily directly pointed at the accident that Matt Howerton is on the scene of right now or not, I'm not sure. But it certainly appeared to be, and honestly, the image that you are seeing there on your screen is less pronounced than what we saw about 30 seconds prior. What you're seeing on your screen right now is a shot that I got after I ran and grabbed the camera and ran around the front side of the house to get that angle. What we saw when we first saw it out front of the house was, frankly, wider and more pronounced. So it certainly appeared and sounded to be a tornado on the ground.
Okay, and Mike, I appreciate that update. We are still not where you are, Mike. You're kind of on the backside of this right now, but we're still seeing, as we go back to the radar, we're still seeing some broad rotation with the cell over northeastern Ellis County. We still have this is our tornado warning storm, so that's the one that most likely is responsible for flipping the semis over. Where did that tornado warning go? Was it just yep, it was canceled. So great news. So that's why the warning, the red box disappeared, is because the tornado warning has now been canceled for Ellis County. So this whole complex has just congealed into one big cluster of storms. So the tornado warning has been canceled. The circulation has diminished considerably, as well as the overall structure, which is great news right now. It's still a strong wind threat. It is still a strong hail threat for much of Ellis County. And Jason, let's do this. And that's up into southern Dallas County too. It's southeastern Dallas County. Let's kind of zoom into these areas, and then we're going to work our way to the south, and then we'll put a big track and run it over towards Cedar Creek Lake over around 7 Points in Gun Barrel City. So anywhere from the Balk Springs, you're not in the warning right now, but this southeastern corner of Dallas County under a severe thunderstorm warning until 10 o'clock. So that includes you in Seagoville. This is southeastern Dallas County. Lancaster, Ferris is just across the county line. Right there on 45. So Seagoville to Lancaster to Ferris to Palmer to Red Oak. Move on down to Waxahachie, Jason. Scurry, Kaufman. Boy, I tell you what, give it about 10 minutes or so, and you're going to have, this storm has its sights set on you. Less than 10 minutes for you in Rosser. And Ennis, I mean, any minute now. This storm is already raining in Ennis, but look what's just back to the west of you. That's what will move in your direction as well, is this very, very heavy rain. 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-size hail or larger with this storm. Let's move south of Ennis. Look what's headed toward you in Rice. If you're in Rice, if you're in Blooming Grove, already past you in Italy, here's Corsicana. So if you're new, we pronounce this as Italy. It's not Italy, it's Italy in Texas. So that's the storm right now. It's in Ennis, it's down to Italy, it's heading toward Corsicana. Go up to, Jason, if you will, let's go up to Cedar Creek Lake, Gun Barrel City, south of Kemp, other direction off to the northeast here. Here's Cedar Creek over here. There's Gun Barrel City. Kemp's on the north end of the lake. So this is the area that we're looking at. Let's put a track and let's track it off toward Gun Barrel City, Kemp, Cedar Creek Lake, and then eventually it's moving into East Texas, into parts of Canton. So the track on this storm moving east at about 30 miles an hour. That'll put it in Alma at 9:49, Rice at 9:58. Here is 7 Points at the lake, 10:24, Gun Barrel City 10:30, Jackson 10:35, Eustis 10:47, Log Cabin at 10:50. So that's the track. Let's take this off. And once again, we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Ellis County, almost all of Ellis County. And Mateo, what did you say? Okay, good. Let's go back to Matt Howerton. Matt, I know you have some new information. We know what's happening right now. You're in the middle of this intense thunderstorm. Give me an update on what you know, Matt.
Well, the rain just it's not stopping here. And right now we're seeing multiple first responders try and what appears to be either look for somebody or check inside of this 18-wheeler cab. We saw them working on the door. We saw them pulling it back. This is the median that we were talking about, that we said was pushed, or at least looked like it was pushed maybe by this severe weather or possibly these vehicles that rolled over. But you can see the 18-wheeler, that door we were talking about, and it's just flipped on its top. And you can also notice that if you look to the left there, Josh, just right over there in the other lane, I mean, that's where its back end is.
There's the third 18-wheeler.
And there's up there, what Josh just told me is that there looks like there's another 18-wheeler on the other side, which it looks like maybe that's a part of the tractor trailer that they're usually hauling, but we haven't been able to go over there to confirm. As it stands right now, emergency personnel is here. They're tending to this wreck. I-35 is backed up, and folks are trying to their best. First responders are trying their best in this weather to tend to people or to help anybody that needs it here, that was impacted, it looks like, by this weather event that pushed over these 18-wheelers and also pushed these other cars over. And like we said, that median too that we saw, I mean, it was just it's hard to tell if that was part of the accident of how it pulled over, but it's weird. You're driving in a sense, and I'm not sure if it goes into another lane at this point in time in this highway. I'm not familiar with it, but it was going from, it looked like 2 lanes in a sense, and then all of a sudden we saw that median just shift all the way over. But right now, very fluid situation. Josh and I are going to get out for a second here. We'll join you on the other side. Come back to us here in about 2 minutes.
We will check back in. I'm getting some reports right now, and I just want some confirmation if you can. I know he can still hear me, or at a minimum, the booth can hear me. But I'm hearing some reports right now that there are some people still trapped, and they're calling in some heavy equipment to help out. And they're calling in heavy equipment. Mateo, you're being told that that is indeed the case, using jaws of life to extract folks right now. So definitely our prayers with them for sure down there in Ellis County right now, just about 5 minutes or so south of Waxahachie. So I know that Matt will have more information on that, but I've also been told that not only is Mateo just confirmed in my ear, but also that they're calling in heavy equipment from all over the area right now to help out with the extraction process down there in the Waxahachie, just south of downtown Waxahachie right now on 35E. And what very well may have happened is when that's part of that supercell thunderstorm moved across 35E south of Waxahachie, it very well could have just flipped those semis, and that's when we had the crash, and that's when the accident took place right there, was just due to those strong westerly winds that had rushed across and maybe flipped those trucks where I don't know if they were going north or southbound, but it doesn't matter because that west wind would blow against those high profile vehicles and create the problem. So look at this. The tornado threat has now ended. Let's move up into the Metroplex. I have some folks, I just saw some couple comments on Twitter, people like, tell me what's going on in Rockwall. You just have rain and lightning in Rockwall. There's nothing severe in right now. There is 0 severe in Rockwall. Go up to Collin and Denton County, Jason, please, for me, if you will. We still have rain around the McKinney, Farmersville area, and then down into Rockwall County, but there's nothing severe in Collin. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in Grayson for some quarter-size hail. That goes until 10 o'clock tonight. It's 9:43. Go over to Denton County, Jason. There is nothing at all severe in Denton County. Shift down now into Tarrant for me, please. Tarrant County, it's maybe a little bit of light rain. That's about it. This is southeastern corner of Dallas County, and it's from Lancaster to Mesquite down to Seagoville. That's where we have the severe. That's the only severe weather right now in the Metroplex. Jason, show me the DMA map so we can show all of North. We can show the entire area in North Texas what's taking place. Of course, we have more thunderstorms out around Albany right now. There's some 60-mile-per-hour winds with that thunderstorm out there across the rolling plains of Texas. But here's the activity. Kind of interesting. It's hasn't really changed its timing tonight at all. It continues to move. And earlier tonight during the 5 o'clock news, I had mentioned that this activity would be east of Dallas by 10 o'clock, and it's 9:45. I mean, it's going to be east of Dallas by 9:45, by 10 o'clock. And then our eastern viewing area is going to be under the gun. And right now, that's not good that our eastern areas are going to be under the gun. But what I like about what I see right now is the tornado threat. We've now, remember, when we have tornadoes, they're notorious when they're like individual little thunderstorms. We'll have one here, we'll have one here, we'll have one here. That's when we have those big, devastating tornadoes. We're congealing into a big line of storms right now. This is a notorious straight line wind problem, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Could you have a brief little spin up in advance of this line? Absolutely. Will you have those big supercell produced tornadoes? No, we don't have any supercell thunderstorms. So that's great news, but our severe weather threat continues to stay. Now, we still have that tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if a severe thunderstorm watch replaces that tornado watch that's in effect. Remember, the watch is in effect until 11 o'clock. We'll most likely have a severe thunderstorm watch that's issued for eastern areas of North Texas. I think at a minimum we'll have that. But the Dallas-Fort Worth area will all be in the clear certainly by 10:30 tonight. These thunderstorms that are moving out to the west, they're going to be moving into an atmosphere that is a lot less conducive for severe weather development, because we've seen this the last couple of weeks. As this cluster of storms moves away, it provides some sinking air on the backside, and as these storms try to move in, hopefully there's enough sinking air to prevent them from firing back up. I have some pictures right now. Jobin Paniker. Jobin, you're in Richardson right now, 75 in Campbell. Wow, skies continue to light up, Jobin.
Yeah, I mean, this is mostly a lightning show that we're seeing here. A lot of the rain has passed through. It looks like it's moving to the west of us right now, but no, we have seen considerable lightning in this area. Of course, you're also seeing a lot of people on the roads here. We're off of Central and 75 in the Richardson area. We just passed through Plano where we saw some damage, passed through Frisco where we saw some damage. We're talking about trees down, we're talking about a power line down. Now we're making our way down here through Dallas, almost into Dallas. You're seeing some, look at some of this lightning just radiating across the sky. We expect to probably see that as it sort of moves up and out of our area.
Okay, Jobin, I appreciate that update. 75 in Campbell right now in Richardson. No severe weather right there where you are at this point. I want to go back to Matt Howerton. Matt is in Ellis County. Matt, take it away.
Yeah, Pete, we got outside the car. We moved over to help out some of the first responders so we could kind of get out of their way on the shoulder of I-35 here. But we're on I-35 and Johnson. And what Mateo had just told you in the booth, that there are people here that need to be rescued out of their cars. There's at least one that we can see right here at this semi-trailer right here to the left of this ambulance, where there are firefighters standing outside of it. There's a couple of pieces of equipment to try and cut open the parts of the cab here that's to the left of us. But I also want you to look at the median we were talking about. Take a look down there at the median. Like I said, this is the median that was connected just down here to this part of I-35, and it's essentially it's been blown to the left here. I don't want to get in the way of these first responders, but this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. This is likely caused by the weather event that was down here in Ellis County that pushed these semi-trailers over, and it's just been flown all the way over here, a long way away from where it's supposed to be. There's another semi-trailer. I'm gonna get out of the way. There's another semi-trailer behind all of this. So there's 3 total that we know of right now. And the big thing here that we don't know, how is everybody doing? This is the last thing you want to see when you're a first responder. When you come up to something like this, and we don't know at this point in time, we know that people need to be rescued, but we don't know if anybody is seriously injured, if there's any fatalities. We just know that there are first responders out here on I-35E and Johnson that are doing their best to try and to help people here that are in need, that were clearly rocked by part of this storm, this tornado-warned storm that was coming through this area. The hardest part of this, and this is where I really look at these guys that are out here that are responding to the call. It is pouring rain right now. It is pouring rain, and there's a lot of the elements that these guys are having to deal with, and they're out here doing their best to try and just help anybody here that was involved. But to recap, this is the scene right now. We know at least 3 semi-trailers have been pushed over from this weather event, from this tornado-warned storm in this area just south of Waxahachie on I-35 on Johnson Road. There's a crew here right in front of us that's trying to pull somebody out of this semi. We don't want to interrupt that in any sort of way, but the damage here is devastating. We don't know about injuries, but I can tell you right now, this looks like it was part of that tornado-warned storm, and it doesn't look good, guys, not from here.
Matt, it's Chris. I just want to ask you, in terms of the weather right now and what they're trying to do here, has this rain let up in any way since it started coming down so hard? And how is that impacting them in trying to get to the person or persons who may be trapped in there, all that metal?
Well, I do know that they're probably struggling. Look at this right now. We have another, looks like multiple units that are coming down I-35 right now to try and help. And hopefully we're not in the way here. We're going to move out of the way. and all that traffic, all this rain, people going slow, trying to make sure that they're driving correctly, that they're not impacted by this rain. I mean, that's definitely going to play a factor when it comes into these additional response vehicles showing up here on I-35. They're making the way here for them. I'm not sure which fire department this is that showed up. This is Red Oak Fire that's showing up to assist in this situation. It looks like there's an engine and also a backup engine too that has shown up to help. But yeah, this weather is, I mean, you know, nobody wants to be out in the rain, and especially during a traumatic event like this. And yeah, everybody's got their coats on. They have to focus on what they're doing, because you can make a mistake possibly if you can't see. The visibility's bad, and you especially want to watch out for these drivers. There's at least one lane here that's been open on I-35 that people are going through. So there's a couple of gentlemen here with DPS that are trying to focus and say, hey, please just keep going. You know, please don't sit here and look at what's happening. Just keep on going. We have a job to do. Let us do that job.
All right. And Matt, you have about another 10 minutes of the 5 to 10 minutes of the real heavy rain. It's in the process. You're kind of at the end of the heavy stuff right now. So in about 20 to 30 minutes, it'll be a lot lighter, but certainly in the next 5 to 10 minutes, the heaviest of the heavy will have ended.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's coming down right now. And when we first got out, it was really coming down, and it's starting to let up a tad. But at the same time, yeah, it's still coming down here. It's still pretty steadily raining here in this area.
That driver's pinned inside that 18-wheeler and they're trying to free.
Talking about trying to get a grip, to get to somebody inside and to move some of these very large pieces. We've seen them bringing some of the equipment in because they simply were not able to do it by hand.
And again, if you're just joining us, we are on the scene of a very severe crash near Waxahachie. This is in Ellis County, I-35E and Johnson Road. And Matt, you've been talking about 2 semis, and you said possibly 3 that tipped over there?
Right?
Yeah, hang on, guys. We're talking to some people that were actually here driving that kind of were in the middle of this. But yeah, what we are seeing at this point in time is 3 semi-trailers, 18-wheelers knocked over in this area, and then a few cars parked up on the side of the road as well that might have been impacted. But the biggest part are these 18-wheelers that have been blown over, clearly during this tornado-warned storm that came through here.
And these are live pictures. We're going to give Matt a moment to talk to people who are there on the scene. But there you can see that median destroyed in tonight's crash. Multiple first responders there trying to free at least one person, possibly more, who have been trapped in the wreckage tonight. They have brought in heavy-duty material to try to get these people out.
And again, just to give you an idea of where all this is happening, this is on 35. This is south of Waxahachie, north of Forester, and this all happened, I want to say probably in the last hour to hour and 15 minutes maybe.
And you know, Chris and I, trying to get a hold of someone to help us with a little more information has been difficult, and we certainly understand Ellis County Sheriff's Department has been extremely busy in the last hour. They couldn't answer any questions. I've been trying to get a hold of their public information officer, texted him, and he's not answering the phone either. He's probably there on the scene trying to collect information.
Yeah, when I did the same thing when I called. They were in the middle of taking several 911 calls, and obviously this is something that would draw a tremendous response and a lot of resources from various departments. I think Matt mentioned there he was seeing other departments responding as well to help when you have an accident of this magnitude. And when you just look at those 18-wheelers, and the cabs literally collapse right on that median, that center wall that has been completely pushed out of place. And I think, Izzy, you mentioned it earlier, I mean, that's solid concrete. I mean, that is built and designed so that if somebody runs into it, they don't cross into the other lane. It's built to hold up to high impacts.
Yeah, and you're watching first responders trying to locate people, or at least one person who might be trapped in the wreckage of this semi. This all happened just about half an hour ago when strong rain, heavy downpours and straight line winds affected this area of Ellis County. Again, I can tell you that we have seen damage throughout North Texas, but this is by far the worst that we've reported on so far tonight.
Yeah, and you can see the crews there from Forreston as well. A lot of departments responding to this. When you have an accident like this, it can be very, very difficult for some of the first responders, because obviously they're going to talk to some of the witnesses about what they saw to get an idea of where people may be trapped, how many people may be trapped, and what the situation is. But again, they're not going to take anything for granted. They're not going to assume anything. So it can be a very tedious task to sort of go through this wreckage foot by foot, inch by inch, to make sure they have accounted for everything that they need to in order to do the best job possible at trying to save as many people as they can.
Hey Matt, can you hear us? Are you still online with us?
Yeah, hey Cynthia, just spoke with somebody here on scene with DPS. They just told me that currently, and this is preliminary information, they just told me that they're trying to free what they believe are people in at least 2 18-wheelers. And we just saw a lot of people from Red Oak Fire Department pull up to try with those tools to see if they can help. But somebody here with DPS, and they'll likely be investigating this accident because it's on a Texas highway. They basically told me that there's 2 18-wheelers that they have focused on right now that they believe might have people in them, and they're trying to get those folks out, or at least just see if they're okay. They couldn't tell me anything about injuries. We know we've seen at least, like we said, 1 person transported in an ambulance. The other ambulance that was here when we showed up is still here, and we saw at least 1 person walking around looking like they were in one of these accidents and was able to get out. But not all confirmed just yet, and we're working to do that right now.
It's like they're trying to bring in a big wrecker.
Okay. But yeah, the images here, I mean, they're heartbreaking. And honestly, the fact that this was all caused by this weather event, it's the last thing you want to see. It's the last thing you want to see. I'll take it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Matt, we sure appreciate that update. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning right now for Ellis County. Ellis County right now still under a severe thunderstorm warning. Ellis, Henderson, and also Kaufman County under a severe thunderstorm warning right now until 10 o'clock. Matt is in this area just a couple of minutes south of downtown Waxahachie. The very heavy rain continues to fall there. The gusty winds, the winds in Matt's location aren't as gusty as they were just a short time ago, but the severe weather threat continues anywhere from Ennis up to Seagoville and Kaufman, moving toward Gun Barrel City. It'll arrive at Cedar Creek Lake in about the next 15 minutes or so. Severe weather continues. It's now mainly to the east and southeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but we will continue to watch these storms as they evolve over the next several hours. The tornado threat, it's not as high as it was earlier. It has started to diminish somewhat, but we still have a tornado watch in effect for North Texas until 11 o'clock tonight. Make sure you stay with us. Our continuous coverage, it starts right now with News 8 at 10. Well, good evening again, everyone. I'm News 8 Chief Meteorologist Pete Delkus. The severe weather continues across a large part of North Texas. A tornado watch is still in effect for a large part of North Texas until 11 o'clock tonight. The story that we've been following for the last hour plus is what's taking place in Ellis County. A tornado, possibly a tornado, at a minimum straight line winds move through, and our Matt Howerton is down there right now because, Matt, those straight line winds or that tornado has created quite a bit of damage down there. You've had a multi-car pileup in that area with people that are trapped right now, correct?
Yeah, that's correct, Pete. This is an absolutely awful wreck to stand in front of. I want to step out of the way. There are at least 3 18-wheelers that have been blown over during this weather event. And right now, presently, there's at least 2 people in 2 18-wheelers that first responders are trying to extricate and or pull out. There's one right here. There's one on the other side of our shot. And there's also another one over here in this field. You want to go pan to the left here, Josh? There's also another one in this field that's right behind me. Also, the median here, I want to show this. Hang on one second. The median here has been blown over due to these wrecks. Can you zoom in right there, Josh? The median's been blown over due to these wrecks, and it's just breathtaking to see what we're doing here. I want to talk to this storm chaser, though. He was following this storm and basically saw the wreck, and you pulled a couple people out.
Yeah, that's correct. So I've been storm chasing for a couple years now, about 10 years. Was an ex-volunteer firefighter. So this is usually why I usually come out and chase, is mainly for stuff like this. I mean, here to help. So we came across the wreck, immediately saw the 18-wheeler out here in the field, and we knew that we had to help. And then that's whenever we saw the other 2 18-wheelers against the K-bar here. We tried everything we can to get them out. Right now, fire department is out there extricating both of them. They're both bending there, fairly heavy. So, I mean, right now we just have to just pray that we can get them out of there safe and sound. So,
how was the gentleman that you pulled out of this one right here? This is the trailer that's behind us in this field.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say for sure, but I mean, he was in pretty bad shape. So we got him out. Somebody out. So got him out and got him transported to the hospital.
Okay, so they just pulled somebody out. We're going to get out of this shot. This is somebody that was pulled out of this white 18-wheeler that we've been reporting in front of for like the last hour. They are being loaded into the back of an...
Okay, I think we've lost Matt's shot. We will check back in with him in just a couple of minutes. Just remember, we still have a tornado watch that's in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. It includes the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area. The severe weather threat still exists. Now, just because these storms, the bulk of these storms have moved to the east, in Dallas County, the Metroplex right now, not under any type of warnings whatsoever. You can see we're all clear in Collin County, Denton County, also Tarrant County. It's as far southeastern corner of Dallas County where we still have some thunderstorms, but the severe weather has moved east of Dallas right now. So we still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for Ellis, Henderson, Kaufman, and Navarro County. Those are in effect until 11. Our line of severe thunderstorms. Rockwall, you were not under any type of warning. It's just raining in Rockwall and Heath, but from Forney to Terrell and locations to the south, that's where we have a warning. Watch this. Here's the time that these storms will arrive with 60 to 70 mile per hour winds and quarter-size hail. It'll arrive in Wills Point at 10:20. Wallace at 10:43, Fruitvale 10:47, Canton arrival time 10:52, Grand Saline 10:58, and in Colfax at 11:06. South of there, here we are. That's Cedar Creek Lake, Ellis, Henderson, Kaufman, Navarro. Remember, 11 o'clock tonight. There's the track. It'll arrive in Corsicana at 10:10, just a couple of minutes from now. 7 points there at Cedar Creek Lake, 10:13. Gun Barrel City, 10:19. Mildred, 10:29. Kearns at 10:32. Canton, 10:39. Trinidad, 10:47. Malakoff, 10:53. Crescent Heights, 10:59. Athens, 11:08, and Edom at 11:21. A little wider look at the radar. That's our big line of storms. It's now shifting to the east of Dallas-Fort Worth, but on the backside we have another little cluster of storms. Now, this next cluster, it's severe right now. It's not as severe as the first line of storms that's moved through. But still, some quarter-size hail is possible with that second line, and it's on the backside of the cold front. That's the stuff that's around Stevens and also Graham. Stevens County, Young County, that's the cold front. Here's the activity by midnight. It's all east of Dallas at midnight. It continues to shift east of Dallas, and these storms that right now are out around Albany, Breckenridge, up to Graham.
Anybody on
Those
here?
should be in a weakening phase as they move toward us, but they could still stay marginally severe as we head through the overnight. The bigger severe weather threat moves into East Texas at 1 o'clock. There it is at 1. There it is at 2. It's now in Mineola, Canton, Athens. It's east of you in Corsicana, but it's down around Palestine. That's at 3 o'clock. So during the overnight, most of the activity will move off to the east of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We'll watch for additional thunderstorms to develop on the backside. And we start tomorrow with a lot of cloud cover, but we do crease our clouds throughout the day, and then the sun will come out. Right now, though, do we have Matt Howerton? Matt is in this area down here, just to the south of Waxahachie. Matt, we have you back. Give us another update.
Yeah, can you guys hear me, Pete? Yep. Yeah, Pete, so let me tell you what's going on right now. We just watched somebody. We were talking to a storm chaser who pulled one person out of a semi-trailer that's to our left, but in this ambulance in front of me is somebody that they just pulled out of this 18-wheeler, this white 18-wheeler to the next, just right adjacent to us, that was flipped over. It looked like he was alert. He was moving his arms. Don't know anything about his injuries, but that was, at least to me, a pretty good sign that he was alert and talking to the folks that were taking care of him here. But like we said, these emergency responders, they got here on scene with a lot of heavy equipment to extricate this person out of this semi-trailer. There's been at least 2 people that have been extricated out of the semi-trailer, or the semi-trailers in this area, and we're told that there might be a third, which is over past this area, which is in the distance right now. So we saw one transported to the hospital. We saw this person that was taken out of this trailer to the left of us here, and they were put into an ambulance. And then we're told, I think that there's at least one more person possibly, but we will keep you updated once we learn more details in here. But seeing this person pulled out and being alert, very good sign here in this situation. 35 southbound.
Matt, that is absolutely fantastic news right there. We'll check in with you a little bit later on. Remember, a tornado watch is still in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. We have trees down across North Texas. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'll have more on the overnight thunderstorm timeline. Right now, though, Chris and Izzy, you guys take it away.
Sure,
yeah, Pete, obviously we've been watching Matt bring us the breaking news in Ellis County. Now we want to take you west to Hill County. Here's a look at the tornado that touched down south of the Metroplex. Lisa Monahan spotted it in Blum, a small town near Cleburne and Hillsboro. Lisa shared this video with us from her Twitter feed, and her profile says she's an amateur storm chaser. And the Johnson County Emergency Management Team tweeted this photo of the twister around 7:30 tonight. This is from Highway 171, right at the Johnson and Hill County line. And I can tell you right now, several of the major county roads are closed right now in Johnson County.
And now to this video sent to us of slow rotation in Prosper. This video came to us from our viewer, Paul. This was at about 8:45 tonight. There you see the dark clouds and the lightning. We've had a lot of reports of trees down throughout North Texas, including in Collin County tonight.
Yeah, Joe Paniker is live there now. Joe, from Allen to Prosper to Salina, this area is taking a beating.
It sure has. You know, right now we're at 75 and Campbell, we are dry now. The system has moved on. We've been dry for at least an hour now, and you're probably wondering why we have this angle. You're looking up. It's because we want you to see the expanse of the sky, and that's because how beautifully dangerous it is to see the lightning and how it sort of radiates across the sky. At some point, you'll be able to see it just over my shoulder here. But as you said, yes, Collin County did see the brunt of these storms as it moved through in the late evening. We want to show you some of these pictures from all across the county. Now, we've got some really loyal weather watchers who have shared their videos, shared their pictures. We have seen downed trees, downed power lines. We are seeing pockets of damage in Salina, in Frisco, in Plano. We're seeing reports of damage in Prosper as well. Now, I'm hoping we get the chance to show you some of this video also from Salina. The rain and the wind was really strong. Now, I was telling you about the downed power lines in that Plano-Carrollton area. We were there live about 30 minutes ago. Surprisingly, according to the Encore outage map, there are under 20 outages in the Collin County area. It is hard to determine at this point how many customers that's affecting right now. We know in the North Texas area there are about 14,000 customers affected. Hard to tell right now how many in Collin County right now. I did have a chance to speak with emergency responders here in the Collin County area. They say, please do not head out to look for damage. You'll see plenty of it tomorrow morning when you do wake up. Reporting live here off 75 in Campbell, I'm Jobin Panic.
All right, thank you, Jobin. Yeah, we take a wider view out. We can tell you a little over 13,000 people right now are without power across the area. You can always share your pictures with us using the hashtag WFAA weather. Also download our WFAA app and share them with us using the Near Me feature.
And as we head to break, another live picture of that severe crash in Ellis County just south of Waxahachie. 3 18-wheelers tipped over, possibly by a tornado. Our Matt Howerton just saw one person rescued from one of those semis. Live continuing coverage.
Hi, Chris, you hear
right
me?
after this.
Daylight time, a severe thunderstorm was located over Maypeel, moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. Hazard, 60 miles per hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. Source, radar indicated. Impact, hail damage to
Yeah, I was just checking this stuff out.
Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Grand Prairie.
I'll probably leave it on for another 5-10 minutes. I don't know if anybody's even online anymore or what.
Glen Heights, Red Oak, Ovilla, Venus, Ferris, Palmer, Italy,
I have some other things to get done yet tonight, so
Garrett, and Pecan Hill.
I figured out a bunch how to make this all better. Now, if you notice, I've got the chat on this on here now. So that chat that I have on the screen, no matter where anybody chats from, if it's YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, no matter where they message from, it'll show up on there, which is pretty cool.
For your protection, get inside a sturdy structure and stay away from windows.
Figuring stuff out slowly.
Tornado watch number 133 remains in effect until 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time for the following counties: in Texas, Collin, Dallas, Denton, Ellis, Hunt, Kaufman, Rockwall, and Tarrant. Remember, a tornado watch means the conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds.
I've got an accent? I don't think I have an accent.
While severe weather may not be imminent,
I bet you Teresa really has an accent down there down south.
conditions and listen for later statements and possible warnings. Stay tuned to NOAA Weather Radio, commercial radio and television outlets, or internet sources for the latest severe weather information. Now let's check on your local forecast. A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 11.
Anybody even still online, or are they just out doing their own thing?
Western Van Zandt, Western Henderson, Central Ellis, and Navarro counties. At 10:11 p.m. Central Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Carroll to near Kemp to Mertens, moving east at 35 miles per hour.
Yeah, this video sent in from Pete Essex using our Near Me app. This is a video of hail and strong wind in Aubrey. This was in Denton County, where the Office of Emergency Management told us they had several spotters out there tonight chasing rotations.
And from Denton to Ellis County, I want to give you another live look.
Had a couple that actually went pretty darn easy, but
what's been happening with the
especially being in Wisconsin, with everything all rusted up,
on 35. This is south of Waxahachie. I would say in the last 10 minutes, we did see them bring one person out of the trailer, and this followed about 45 minutes ago when someone else was brought out, put on a stretcher, and rushed to the hospital in an ambulance. We'll stay on top of that breaking news throughout the newscast.
Pete, are we out of the woods yet, or do we still have to deal with more severe weather?
Well, it depends on where we are, right? And in the Metroplex,
you gotta say hello.
Kind of. Okay, but east of Dallas, Fort Worth, The answer is no, absolutely not.
No,
There's
you're
a
ready
big
to say,
Boeing
"Daddy,
segment
feed me," right?
of severe thunderstorms right now.
You're
All
ready
the
to say,
stuff that's
"Daddy,
left
feed me"?
Dallas County and Tarrant
I'm
County
getting all
and
hungry.
Ellis
That's
County,
probably
it's
what
all
you're
now moving
thinking,
to
right?
the east. Now, the
You're getting
tornado
all
threat
hungry?
has dropped
Is that what
considerably.
it is?
It's not zero, but it's really, really low. But now it's a straight line wind concern of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds and some quarter
Yeah, I
size
see,
hail.
and I
So
haven't
the
even
big
watched any,
hail of
I
the
don't know if
baseball size
Steve's not
stuff
been
that we
on that
saw
much or
earlier in
what,
Hood
but,
County, tennis ball, baseball
I haven't
size.
actually seen
that
any of
has
his
dropped.
videos or
Now
anything
it's
lately.
the quarter $half size
probably
hail,
do that tonight.
and it's a
I gotta
70
give,
mile per 60,
somebody a
70
call
mile
back
per
when
hour
I
winds.
end the
I
stream.
have some pictures that I want to show you as
Christopher
well.
said hi to
there
you,
we go.
Missy.
Listen, so we think
Yeah,
this
he
may
said hi to
be.
you. You want to say hi? You gonna come back up?
This could be the tornado that
Say
crossed
hello.
35. So that's in Forest.
Wave your paw,
so that's
paw.
right
Say
down there
hello.
by 35,
Say hello,
35 just south of
Christophers.
Waxahachie. We think
Say
this could be
hello.
the tornado at BLK.
Say hello.
ZUS. I don't know what that is. Jet tweeted us this. So that's a possible
that's a good
tornado
girl.
in Forest. And so, I mean, you could see the debris happening down
You
here.
got to say hello to
Obviously, we have
everybody,
a tornado that has touched down, no doubt about that. So we'll have to find out
careful,
if
man.
that is indeed the one that did create
Okay,
the damage
what else
down
we
there
got
where
going
Matt
on here?
Howerton is right now, where multiple semis have been flipped, and I know there's some cars involved in that as well. Otherwise, look at Talty. Robert Bailey tweeted us this. Lots of lightning in Talty tonight. This was a wind in Salina, blew some chairs into, it looks like, the pool. Elizabeth Green, hail near Waxahachie. Not the big stuff, which
I know
thankfully
Mary
we didn't
said
have
she's
that.
going to sleep.
But a lot of hail. This was in
Teresa's
Pilot
probably
Point.
got all her
So
own
this is in
issues she's dealing with
Denton
there.
County, northern Denton County. You could see the hail there on the grill. So maybe the nickel dime size stuff. This was Ann tweeted us this one. This was in Allen tonight. You could see the tree damage there from that location. And once again, we still have the tornado watch in effect for everyone until 11 o'clock tonight. I got to think that's going to be canceled momentarily. So they're going to be issuing right now I'm just seeing this, they're going to be issuing a new severe thunderstorm watch shortly for areas north of I-20.
Yeah, I mean, it's been some
east of
incredible video
281.
tonight.
So then
I
mainly
missed some of it when I was on
along
the
and
phone and
east of
everything, but-
I-35 and central Texas is going to include a lot of these counties that aren't in the tornado watch. So we'll get that
Oh, I
here
know what I
very,
wanted
very
to do.
quickly and get you
I wanted
updated
to
on
take
that.
a
The
picture of this
Metroplex is
streaming like
all
this
in the
right now.
clear right now, but here's our severe weather threat. Ellis, Henderson, Kaufman, Navarro County until 11 o'clock tonight. So Rockwall County, there's nothing severe there. There's nothing severe here around West Tawakoni. It's down in Kaufman County.
didn't
So
turn
in
the light
Forney,
on.
you're in the clear. It's still
Take a
raining,
picture, I
but
assume.
there's no severe weather in Forney. It's from Terrell and Wills Point. It's really from right around Interstate 20, just a little north of 20, and then south down to Kaufman. Here's the track. It'll arrive, the storm will arrive with the 60-mile-an-hour winds. It'll arrive in Emory at 10:25, Canton 10:29, Grand Saline 10:40, Yantis at 10:48, and in Van at 10:56. This is our Boeing segment right now. So it's moving into the north end of Cedar Creek Lake. It'll arrive in Gun Barrel City. It's almost 10:19 right now, so it's there. Mildred 10:29, Karen's at 10:32, Canton. Your arrival time in Canton is at 10:39.
Yeah, northern Texas.
Malakoff 10:53, Athens at 11:08, and Edom 11:21. That's it. Now we have this other little line of thunderstorms. There it is. It's out there in Graham County. That little line of thunderstorms will
Denton,
continue
Texas,
to move
Fort Worth,
toward the
there's
Dallas-Fort
Dallas,
Worth area. That's the activity at 11. You see how everything's east of Dallas at midnight tonight.
Yeah,
1
my
o'clock.
son's just north of
so
Dallas.
2 o'clock, it's out of the WFAA viewing area. So another couple of hours before it moves into Far East Texas, then out of the WFAA viewing area. But Canton and Athens, you're going to be under the gun for the next couple of hours. Not raining there right now, and if it is, it's real light stuff, but the severe weather threat will take you, let's say 1:30, 2 o'clock before it finally all ends. And then it's all out of here during the middle of the overnight. But a few thunderstorms could still
I was
happen
texting with my
on
son.
the
He said they had
backside
some
of
real
this
nasty
front.
weather there,
Remember,
just like
we still
Randy
have
did.
the tornado watch in effect until 11 o'clock tonight. So we hit 92
But I don't know, he was
today.
going to bed. He's
It's going to be
working
about
2
20
jobs now.
degrees cooler tomorrow with
They
a
want to
breezy
move. I don't know
north
if they're
wind,
still
some
planning on
clouds
getting a
to
house
start
right away
the
or
day,
whatever, but
the
they wanna
sun will
move
eventually
from
come
where they're
out.
at
Make
and-
sure you stay with us.
So they're
Our
doing-
severe
they're just
weather
working tons.
coverage, the
So he was
damage
going to
across
bed.
North Texas, it continues right after this.
Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Corsicana, Ennis, Terrell,
Yeah, it can really
Forney,
be tricky to find your bearings on this sometimes.
Canton, Wills Point,
Yeah, there's
Fairbanks,
Fort Worth, there's
Cranston,
Dallas.
Blackhawk, Tool,
But you know, there's all
Cabrini,
these towns,
Italy,
cities, and
Cairns,
counties you never heard of. They should have Dallas a lot bigger on there. Dallas and Fort Worth, so you can really quickly find where you're at on the map there.
A tornado watch remains in effect until 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time for central and north central Texas. Now let's check on your local forecast for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Tornado
What do you
watch
think, Chris?
will
Should I shut this down, or are you going to watch it? I got some stuff I got to go do. I got to bring out some meat and everything. I got to start making some more beef jerky. My son wants some, and I'm out again. Only a couple pieces left. So I got to do that and give Mom and the dog their meds and some other things. I can leave this run if you want to watch it.
miles an hour after midnight. Chance of rain 60%. Tuesday, partly sunny in the morning, then clearing. Much cooler. Less humid with highs in the lower 70s.
I'll leave this run, and it might be about a half an hour or so.
In the afternoon.
And I'll come back on if anybody's on here. If anybody wants to chat or whatever, I don't know. People are going to be on or not.
5 to 10 miles an hour.
I'll take my ugly mug off and shut my mic off and come back on in a little bit.
For Ellis County. Hail up to the size of quarters was reported at 9:58 p.m. 2 miles southwest of the city of Mayfield. The following is a preliminary storm report for Kaufman County. Hail up to
Oh, you want me? I should shut it down?
Reported at 10:05 p.m.
I'll shut it
3
down.
miles
I didn't know if you wanted to
southwest
still watch it or not.
The current time is 10:21 p.m. Central Daylight Time.
This station is
Listening to NOAA. All
WFAA.
The voice
If
of
you
the
want to
National
continue
Weather
watching
Service.
it, I'll just shut her down then.
KEC 56. Serving the
You have
Dallas-Fort
a
Worth
nice night, Chris.
area.
And actually, I'll still be up texting for a little while. I got to make a couple phone calls and do all this other stuff first.
Storm warning for Ellis County in
So
north
I'll be
central
up.
Texas
I'm going to be up till
until
1
11
anyways.
p.m. Central Daylight
But I'll shut
Time.
this all down. Anybody else that's
Want
on
to go
here?
back to breaking news
Have a
live
good
in
night.
Waxahachie. This is about
Oh,
10
here we
to
go. I wanna
15
see this
minutes
quick.
south of Waxahachie, where we just saw one person rescued from one of those semis behind Matt Howerton. What's the latest from on the scene, Matt?
Well, right now, Cynthia, I-35 is totally shut down, and there's been a lot of wreckers that have shown up, I think, to try and move some of these 18-wheelers that have been blown over. Like we said, we haven't gotten any official details from any person that's been on scene as far as a first responder goes, but we did see, Josh and I did see at least 2 drivers from those 2 semi-trailers that we showed you earlier pulled from
Yeah,
their
I can
cabs,
get you
and they
some
were
more jerky.
taken
I'll have
to
to
the
make
hospital,
it
or at least they were
fresh.
taken
Oh,
away in
the next shipment,
ambulances.
I've got
Right
the
now,
vacuum
it
sealer.
looks like, I don't know if we're
So it'll
focusing-
be
are we
all
focusing on
vacuum
this right now,
sealed.
this crane, Josh? So
But you'll
right
help,
now it
you know,
looks
make it
like
last
there's
longer and
a
stuff.
towing service that's here to possibly lift one of these semi-trailers that moved over.
I'll get
but
working
still a
on-
very
I'll get
fluid
working on
situation
more
out
this
here
week.
right now, and as we said, I-35
Yeah, it sucks that he
traffic
threw it out
is
on you.
backed up because it is totally shut down to take care of this wreck.
Oh God, my butt gets sore on this chair. There's like nothing I can
All right,
do
thank
about
you very
it.
much,
I've got
Matt.
pillows down
Again,
there
we're
and
going to
everything.
keep an eye on what's happening there, and also we're going to try to bring you some information from what's happening in Hood County as well. We'll be right back.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, Chris, what I could do is put it in smaller vacuum sealed packs. You know, like for a pound, maybe do like a quarter-pound a pack.
Central Daylight Time for central and north central
So
Texas.
then you keep one out and then freeze the other 3, or like freeze 2, keep one in the fridge, and keep one handy. But okay, yeah, I'll be able to text in a little while, maybe like 11 or something. See how long my phone call is. You have a good night.
Central Ellis, Navarro counties. At 10:11 p.m. Central Daylight Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Terrell to near Kemp to Mertens, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Extensive straight line wind damage is likely across eastern Kaufman and western Van Zandt counties with these storms. Hazard, 65 miles per hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. Source, radar indicated. Impact, hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. Locations impacted include Corsicana, Ennis, Terrell, Seagoville, Forney, Kaufman, Gun Barrel City, Canton, Wills Point, Maybank, Crandall, Blackhawk, Toole, Combine, Italy, Cairns, Talty, 7 Points, Edgewood, and Kemp. For your protection, stay inside a sturdy structure and keep away from windows. A tornado watch remains in effect until 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time for Central and North Central Texas. Now let's check on your local forecast for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Severe thunderstorm watch 138 in effect until 3 a.m. Tuesday. Rest of tonight, mostly cloudy late this evening, then becoming partly cloudy. A 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Some thunderstorms may be severe. Lows in the mid-60s. East winds 10 to 15 miles an hour, becoming northwest. Tuesday, mostly cloudy in the morning.